in the waiting room. What's going on, guys? This is the Patreon only live stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. We got a new Patreon member. Just to let you know. See, a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, we got Smooth Fit that joined. And just the past couple days, I finally got a new one. Appreciate you out there. Toxic joined. So thanks a lot. Now I'm up to 18. Yay, raw. But appreciate you guys. First things first, and I'm gonna bring this up later when and if other people join. But my next free agent film room will be kind of voted on here on this stream. So and it'll be you guys, whoever gets the most votes or whatnot. Just bring it up. We'll see who I got. I know there's a lot of people out there comments on my last one that says they're talking about Chris Godwin. So that's one that's up there because of the comments and people wanting that. But I think Patreon members should have the first right to vote on something like that. So how's it going, Loyalist? What's up?
Not too bad, brother. How you doing? I just been sitting here looking for answers to questions that I can generate on my own, and just not a lot going on in the football real world. So I sat there and just I wonder what this guy'd look like in a Colts uniform and stuff. A lot of that this last week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Joe?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that's a fun exercise. I mean, and here's the thing, if you look, okay, and I don't like the way some of these assholes in the media do this. I just don't. Okay. All this clickbait and all the BS that's out there, it's just not. That's all. It's all clickbait. If you take this from a logical perspective, you're a content creator. How do you want to logically address and talk about these types of issues? Okay, you go into the off season. Okay, you can cover. We covered all the playoff games, everything. All the way up to the Super Bowl. We went through that whole thing. So when it gets to this point in the season, their first thing. You're talking about coaching hires, and you're talking about possible potential free agents. I don't understand how people come up with these scenarios, or why people come up with these scenarios where they want to talk about these blockbuster trades before free agency is even started.
Especially this year.
Going there?
Especially this year, whenever you've got all these, teams that are strapped for cash and stuff. I mean, the free agent market, I think, is going to look a lot different, in a couple of weeks versus what it looks like today. Just because there's going to be some painful choices having to be made in a lot of organizations.
Mm-hmm.
We're not one of them. Woo!
Well, you also got to remember this is the second year. The COVID year that we had that really took a hit on salary caps for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it cut the salary caps for all the teams over last year and this upcoming year by 10 mil, I think, something like that. So, every team has a little less money to work with,
Yeah. And you don't know who's going to, you don't even know who's going to get retained by who. You don't know who's even going to be available on the free agent market. Why don't you look at, free agency? Because that's okay. This is where this starts. I mean, I'm one of those idiots. I did a mock draft already. Well,
come back from the dark side. Come back from the dark side.
I did just as something to do. This was before the Super Bowl was even played, so it's kind of like, okay, it's just something fun to do to start to get and dabble a little bit in who is going to be available in the draft. But I mean, even doing that, it's like I don't think it's something you can really do until after free agent frenzy, goes into full effect. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and do it like with any type of proficiency or logic. It's just something kind of fun to do. And if you kind of preface it, this is just something I'm floating out there just for fun. Okay. That's not how this is working on like Twitter. That's not how this is working in these other mainstream media outlets. It's just this nutty. That's not how this is working. Where's Jack? That's not how this is working. Where's Ninklovsky?
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much, bro.
Billions up to.
Someone's got the live stream going in the background.
I think it's Jack.
All right. Someone's got the live stream going in the background. Yeah.
Really? It's Jack.
Yeah, hurting my ears. There we go. That's much better. Thanks, Jack.
Okay.
Oops.
Shit happens.
Yep. It's all good, man. You were watching
all the
it.
time.
All right, man.
Yeah, to your point, Joe, is like I said, that's where I've been looking around and stuff, and I'm not gonna sit there and look at and say, oh, Devontae Adams, let's see if we can make him fit. No. I'm sort of prefacing it is okay, but there has been things like I've looked at a Chandler Jones and tried to sit there, and the thing that drives me nuts is you sit there and you start looking like, oh, that works. Oh, yeah, that works. And then, there's all these other things you have to think about. Not only do you have to think about, how old are they and what's their injury history and what was their last couple of years of games missed, but then you got to factor in how much salary cap do you have left? How many holes do you, and the thing is I started dealing with the whole Chandler Jones one, and I was like, oh, this is, and then you get to that last part where you're like, okay, what holes you got left and how much money, and then you're like, ah. And then it's like having a Christmas present taken away from you. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then you got to think not just free agency and trades, but you're not just thinking about salary cap and what it costs to get them and all. Does the player even want to be here? Mm-hmm. Is somebody else going to overbid you? Because it is what it is. They say that's being cheap, but I don't think like if someone's going to way overpay for somebody, unless that is a guy who you absolutely believe will take your team over the top, then you just walk away. Mm-hmm. You got to know when to walk away. It is. That's how I feel about it. And people say, well, that's just being cheap. No, that's being realistic and honest with your money situation, right? And stuff. So I can't. If bidding to Chandler Jones goes over $20 million a year, you got to walk away from that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's funny. You sit there and you listen to these people and you see some of the things that they propose or whatever. And I'm like, wow, guys, you guys would make the New Orleans Saints feel good because with your math, you're going to have this salary cap in a total nightmare for a decade.
Oh yeah, I've seen tweets where I've seen people share stuff where they've got like, oh, we could get Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Hassan Riddick, and I'm like, you might get one of those guys.
Where are these people getting this detail?
I'm gonna offer a speculative opinion here.
People are
coming from where they. It's coming from where they take,
their heart. They're coming
right? Coming from their ass is where it's coming from.
Yeah.
We're not live on YouTube, so we can keep it real.
I guess I try to,
That's actually where I kind of end up putting those comments and tweets. I put them in the toilet after I get done reading them because I don't need to see them no more. I get it's a wish list, but come on now.
And the best part And the best part is when you sit there and you come back to somebody with a logical argument. Okay, you want to get rid of Carson or you want to get Derek Carr? Kevin Bowen did that great today. He's like, all right, if you want to do Derek Carr, but then you sit there and you're like, what are you willing to give up? What type of holes are you going to create?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute, fellas.
This time of year drives me nuts because you don't know what's going to go on until the teams announce something. You have it's all speculation.
Yep.
And speculation is just somebody's opinion.
Because I'm live.
And I get tired. I just get tired of listening to it. I just shut it all off. Fuck them. Okay. And I'll wait till I see. I wait till I see Colin Cowherd tell me the latest, Colts transaction on his show, or some shit. I just
bums. We don't tend to talk about them.
It doesn't matter what I think or what my opinion or who we should get. It doesn't make any difference. It's what they're going to do. What I do get tired of is like the guys the other day I was listening to were kind of bashing Ballard about just a little, just a bit of, it only took a few phrases, but you knew what they were getting at. Bashing Ballard because we didn't get Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, he whiffed on Matthew Stafford. I thought, no, he didn't whiff on Matthew Stafford. But my God, what they gave up to get him.
Well, and the thing was Ballard was never even on board with the Matthew Stafford and stuff. I mean, he did his due diligence and stuff.
I think it got to the point where he wasn't going to go any further, and it just blew off. It just kept going.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I know what, people have been closer and have those private conversations, and they said, a lot of people were surprised how very little he was in on the Stafford, as far as a option or stuff. So
he probably knew it was going to be way more than what he was going to be willing to pay.
Yeah.
Before it even got started.
Also,
Which kind of where I was going with. That's kind of what I was thinking too. It was going to be more than what they were going to be willing or able to give up.
I don't think the Colts were really in a position to mortgage so much because we were not one player away. Mm-hmm. We're not one player away from winning a Super Bowl. We don't have the team that is ready to go and win a Super Bowl. We got to build towards that.
Yeah, everybody's losing their crap now because we don't have a first-round draft pick. If we'd have done the Stafford deal, we would have been down a few first-round draft picks. And to your point, he may have helped get us a win more or something, but it wasn't going to take us that far further than what we already got.
Again, this goes back to Lawrence.
No, Matthew Stafford probably comfortably gets you into the playoffs. I just don't know that we win the Super Bowl.
Right. I say he gets us one more win, and I don't know that he changes the outcome of the playoffs at all for us. I really don't. Like I said, one more win gets us in the playoffs, and then outside of that, I just don't. I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead. I know.
That's all right. No, but Brett, I agree with you. I agree with but back to Lawrence, what he just said. If you're going to overpay for somebody that you're not 100% sure, exactly what you just said, Chuck, unless you're sure that this guy is going to put you absolutely over the top, why spend that kind of money? Okay, the Rams want to give up their entire future, their kids' future, their grandkids' future. Okay, see you, bye.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And okay, we can get the next best guy, because as Minkowski had said, also that you still have other needs to address before you're really there. So
yeah, and you got to look at contracts you've got to sign, during the off season. And we had, Leonard coming up.
As much as it would be easy, it's an easy cop out to blame Carson Wentz and his shortcomings, right? He can't throw, he can't angle his feet, this, that, and the next thing. But it's like, we had 4 games in the year where Ashton Doolin was your number one receiver.
Well, number 2, but yeah.
Wait for it.
He
Wait for it.
should be a practice squad player on a good team, Lawrence.
Well, Ashton Doolin, I wouldn't say practice squad. I mean, the dude's really good at special teams.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but as a receiver, he should be down there. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason he played was because injuries. I mean, if he's your 5th receiver and you have your number 2 and your number 3 receiver on the injury report in Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton, then guess what? Your fifth receiver is actually out on the field.
Yeah, but
Next man up.
that's what puts you down, though. That's what holds you back from being at that top level where you should be.
We could have had, okay, let me say this. We could have had Michael Pittman Jr. Let's just say this. If Michael Pittman Jr., Allen Robinson, Devontae Adams, and I don't know, freaking Debo Samuel was wide receivers on the Colts. If 2 of those guys, I'm just saying, if 2 of those guys got hurt, Ashton Doolin would have still came in because he would have been the special teams player that was a wide receiver. He still would have played.
I agree. He would have played, but he wouldn't have been your game carrier. Like, the guy really developed in front of our eyes in crunch time. God bless him. I'm not bashing him. He showed good games, but he shouldn't have been put in that position to have to, is what I'm saying.
Well, injuries put him in that position, and he stepped up to the challenge. So good for him. Good for him. I'm one of those guys. I do not listen to rumors, and there's a lot of rumors that's going around. What up, Matt?
Hey, how you doing,
Matt?
How's everybody tonight?
Doing well. But I don't listen to rumors. I've already talked about, I just dropped a tweet and talked about how I don't believe in the rumor of Jim Irsay being cheap, and that's why we're having issues hiring a head coach or a defensive line coach, because Irsay's not known for being cheap. But I'm also of that whole idea, and the reason why I think they're having a problem is because of the D-line scheme that Gus Bradley runs with that Leo, because that is a newer scheme, and there's not many D-line coaches out there that will run that scheme. So it's a rare it's a rare scheme that not a lot of people know how to run. So it's a smaller group of people that they have to choose from and grab from. So it'd be more difficult to find someone for that. But I'm also not fully on this train of the rumor mill of the Colts are definitely not going to have Carson Wentz on the roster next year. I know. That's
you're
speculation. They're out there saying even if they don't trade him, they're going to release his ass, whether they have a backup in or not. That would be the dumbest shit I have ever heard of in my entire life.
That'll get Ballard fired.
That would get back. Amen.
Who are we signing? Doug Flutie?
You can't have someone in there set to be a
Joe
starter.
Montana, man.
Yeah.
Fucking these people that say this shit should be fired from their job.
No, but see, that's the thing.
Clickbait,
I know
man.
what Lawrence. No,
Clickbait.
I know what Lawrence. No, like I said, I know what Lawrence is talking about. But the thing is some of the people that are talking about it
Lawrence should be fired. I'm saying these fucking idiots that are saying this shit as news.
Okay, like I was saying, to Lawrence's point, and the guys that are saying this though aren't the clickbait guys. This is the Kevin Bowens and the Zach Kiefers and the local media that actually gets to see you can see this, but let's don't talk about it. So these are guys a little bit closer and stuff. And for me, that's where I sort of raise an eyebrow and be like, okay. And I'm going to wait and see what happens because, I agree. I'm a car. Keep Carson, give him 2 years. That's basically what the deal was when you signed him. It was a 2-year tryout. But the thing is the noise and where the noise is coming from is a little bit. I'm not talking about the Adam Schefters of the world, okay? I'm talking about the Chris Mortensons, who doesn't normally get into that whole clickbait and stuff, and the Kevin Bowens and the Zach Kiefers. And these guys are just more. I mean, Mortenson's got a relationship with Irsay, these other guys. But I will say a lot of the stuff that we're hearing and stuff, I'm getting the feeling that this is the owner speaking, and it's not the organization speaking. And we all know Irsay will sit there and talk straight from his heart and let shit fly, and then be like, okay. And let me put a hypothetical, and I'm not saying that this is how I'm not saying this is how much young Jedi they went, okay? But imagine this: you sit there and you get your owner just turning that flame up under you. Right? Okay. You got him doing that, and you're sitting there and you're putting this out there. Okay, now number one, if anybody's interested in trade, you're going to find out you're going to get a closer idea what the real trade value is for. Secondly, is if Carson sits there and takes us, he can react one of two ways. He can act like a spoiled snowflake and sit there and be like, oh, my owner of my team doesn't like me, I don't want to be here. Or he can sit there and show that whole faith base and integrity base that he sits there and touts and stuff, and say, okay, I'm going to take all those words and I'm going to show them that this wasn't a mistake. I'm going to, and use it as motivation. It's, it's like, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I feel like that's more of a sensible way to process this stuff than to sit there and say, no, the Colts don't like them, so they're just going to cut them no matter what. And I just don't buy that, because no matter what, this team has always made reasonable, not always good, but reasonable at least, decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Irsay is one of those guys. Yeah, he might be a little bit outspoken, but he's not, Jerry Jones, and he's not Mikey Brad. Okay, he's not cheap, and he's not a complete and total douche.
Yeah, and he will back off and let Ballard do Ballard,
exactly,
even if it's not something he's on board with.
So back to the entire point about Ashton Doolin. You talk about a guy like that who has special teams value, and then you sit here and you talk about, okay, then you see this bullshit to cite another team, Pittsburgh Steelers. They showed Ray McLeod and Juju working out together at UCLA. Okay, which one of those guys do you think Pittsburgh's more than likely going to retain?
Juju.
Roethlisberger.
Okay. You think it's McLeod?
You think it's AB?
Chuck, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. I had to do that for Brandon.
Okay. Well, Brandon's not here, so knock it off. All right. But again, I would rather have Ray McLeod than Juju Smith-Schuster, because the guy brings that value to your special teams. He's not,
Yeah, and Steelers are known for bringing up wide receivers, and if they get too big for their britches, then they just let them go. That's how the Steelers have been for a long time now. So
as they should. I mean, they draft receivers like Ballard drafts linebackers. It doesn't matter where at it, they're going to be good.
To that point, Doolin's not maybe your guy, but back to Chuck's point about how you're saying and how the prevailing culture in the building, you have to have a reasonable outlook and a reasonable approach to how things are done. And obviously, I mean, he has his own input with coaching. He's not a cheap dude, but at the same time, he'll listen to what Ballard has to say and be like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. Let's go ahead and go with it. You know what I mean? Because he's not that type of owner that, like, Jerry Jones. I almost throw up in my mouth a little bit every time that name comes up.
Hey, you got to live down here. Oh, God.
And that's another thing is, you sit there and you hear people saying that. I look at this. I say Ballard lost his starting quarterback a week before the regular season. Does he panic? Does he freak out? No, I mean, getting Jacoby Brissett wasn't really a freak out move. It was just the best of the situation. Okay, you lose.
Yeah, because you saw what Scott Tolzien did.
Yeah. And then you sit there and you think about, okay,
Orlovsky.
you sit there and you think about, all right, then you sit there and you hire a coach, and then literally before the ink hits the paper, he just pulls the plug on you and stuff. Did he overreact? Did he freak out on that? No. But yet now, all of a sudden, everybody seems to think that Chris Ballard's going to go totally off scheme. He's going to lose his shit because they didn't make the playoffs. And I just don't understand how people can sit there and take all these pieces of the puzzle and then take this round one and try to jam it in and make it a legitimate thought.
So
Yeah,
he's not. Yeah, okay.
just real quick, and going back to the receiver thing, Paris Campbell, that name was brought up. He's still on a rookie deal. Yeah, he hasn't stayed healthy. Yeah, he's probably not the answer. Why move off of the guy unless you can get something? That would be the one guy I would say, hey, we can get a pick for this dude, but it's probably going to be, sixth or seventh at this point. I mean, you know what I mean? You're kind of stuck with him to see if this guy can be who we thought he was going to be. But it's not breaking the bank for you to do that.
Yeah, Paris, I played this. I forget the name of the game, so forgive me. But I played this game with my kids where you get these Joker cards, and they're the wild card. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Paris Campbell is my Joker. If you put him in and the dude stays healthy and he performs to what we've all hoped, and great, awesome. If he goes out there and he gets injured, preseason or whatever, I'm sorry to say, but okay, that's fine. This is as close to free money, as a GM can hope for, because to your point, it's inexpensive and the upside is just so remarkable if he can stay healthy.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Lawrence.
Oh, you're all good, man. I just don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, no, I remember now. No, with this whole offseason, yes, not making the playoffs and the way we didn't make the playoffs. Obviously, that's a thorn in Chris Ballard and Frank Reich's side, and obviously they need to change some things up. But again, they are of that mindset, and Ballard said it himself. He says, I'm not going to make any decisions until the anger of what just happened leaves, because I want to make decisions on a clear, level-headed mind, right? And that tells me that he's not going to make a big move unless it's a smart move. And releasing your quarterback without having a backup already, set, ready to go is not a smart move. And I just don't see that happening. Being cheap with coaches when that has nothing to do with the salary cap. You could pay a coach $400,000 or $500,000 a year, an assistant coach, which is about what they make now. That's that's not coming out of his pocket. That's Irsay, and Irsay will pay that, especially if it's somebody that you like.
Yeah, he'll walk around and hand out $100 bills at training camp, but he's cheap. He's not going to sit there and give you something to. You know what, though? I have a question, and I'd like to address this to Matt and then just see what everybody else's take is. Do you think that is it possible that having an extended period of success can sometimes damage the fan base?
Oh, fuck.
Absolutely. He already has.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm asking you, with being a Patriots fan and stuff. I mean, do we just sit there and do we lose our minds over the years and just lose our minds and think that this is the norm? I mean, which I don't understand, because 84 to 98, guys, none of them, or even 98. Hell, it was his rookie year. Nobody wants to sit there and replicate any of those.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, Chuck,
I don't know.
We have the worst. That's why we have the worst fan base in the league, is because all our young millennials only know how to win. They didn't know the 90s and even the 80s when we were the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Literally the worst team in the NFL. We drafted a dead player.
I forgot about that.
I'm not kidding.
That.
They called it back. They called it. Said, "Well, you're drafting a dead player," and they called it back. It was almost went through, and they said, "You're drafting a dead player. You know this," and they went through. I could go through a whole bunch of things that we did that were.
That's why they call players now. Like that's why.
Yeah. I mean, we've had. I could put you on double digits. How many great players that we've drafted and have gone to different teams, one being Jim Plunkett, Super Bowl champion, and we only had him for a few years, and then boom, he goes over to the Raiders and wins the Super Bowl and it took us a while to get things moving along till we get Andre Tippett, and he's Hall of Fame offensive lineman, probably one of the best.
That's why Belichick creates a system now he gets these guys and they perform like superstars and all pros, but they go to other organizations and they don't even bother going back and reading a book and seeing how bad this team was. You know,
that reminds me. You're talking about drafting a dead player. Didn't just a couple years ago a state voted in a dead guy as their governor?
I think so. It was
probably New York.
I can look that up, man. Look it up. Look it up, Lawrence.
Hold on.
It was probably New York.
It was probably like New York.
Oh, senator, not governor. Missouri.
Senator. Yeah. Missouri. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, in 2000.
Yeah. I totally remember that.
He was killed 3 weeks prior. 3 weeks prior to the election.
Prior to the election. Yep.
Oh, but he had already accumulated enough votes and stuff already, or something.
Yeah. He had already accumulated enough votes, but he passed away. I totally remember that.
He passed away 3 weeks before the election even happened, and then they just voted for him anyhow.
They voted for him. It's because he's already on the ballot, and nobody knows. And the news media is in the cycle, and they don't realize that he's not even on the ballot anymore.
We had a state senator, a senator from Louisiana, got elected, passed away from COVID before his inauguration. So his wife took his place.
No.
Yeah, they could sometimes do that. They could put someone else in the place.
It was too close to have another election, so they just
the governor appoints.
They could do that.
You don't know what's going on, but just ride it out.
I don't agree with that at all.
She may be better than him. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't agree. I don't agree with having a significant wife or husband. Doesn't matter. Significant other. Because I mean, if you vote for me to be, something, me and my wife have completely different political views.
Right. Exactly.
So if I get elected as appointed as a CFO, and I kick over, if you appoint my girlfriend to the same position,
shit,
you're fucked. You're fucked. That's all I can say right now. And she's not watching, but I don't care if she is, because she knows it too. She's better at certain things than I am,
but she's not with the money.
Maybe more of a people person than I am.
So they're saying Aaron Rodgers is a $25.5 million cap hit. So Indy could hold him after a trade with Wentz, if they used Wentz as a trade bargaining tool.
$25.5 million. That's kind of low.
27.5 mil is the cap hit for the team that would be getting him.
Okay.
And then Green Bay would be paying the rest.
I see. Okay. All right.
Just for 1 year.
Can I ask you a quick question, Lawrence? What do you think about Troy Aikman going over to ESPN for Monday Night Football? Because I know how much you like those commentators.
I'm okay with Troy Aikman. At least he knows football. All right.
Exactly. I agree with that.
I can't stand people who are commentating and then just talk out of their ass and don't even
Like
think
Collinsworth?
about what they're talking about. Yeah. Collinsworth does that all the time where he just starts spewing. He calls people by the wrong name. Hell, he's called Carson Wentz Andrew Luck before. I mean, what? Come on now. He's done some dumb shit. He's called wrong formations. He's called. I'm just it's bad.
So you would be against Joe Buck coming with him?
I absolutely would. Absolutely.
I see the face right there. The face says it a million miles.
Hold on just a second.
Okay, he's got someone talking to.
Have them get.
Well, I watched Peyton and Andrew or Eli during Monday Night Football, so I have no idea who the commentators are on Monday Night Football.
Oh, I know ESPN. People moved over to ESPN2 to watch the Peytons this last year because it was so bad.
I did.
Yeah.
I turned commentary off.
Kind of reminds me of Dave. We used to turn the commentary off and bring it in on the radio, so we wouldn't have to listen to Howard Cosell.
Now wait a minute. Howard Cosell slander, really?
Cosell's a better radio guy. Ooh. Cosell's a better radio guy than he is a TV.
Yeah, Cosell was better in the art of pugilism too. I love the way he announced those.
He brought some interesting facts with him every game, though. I gotta say that much for him. If you listen to him, you can get a little bit of a lesson every Monday night if you can stand listening to him.
As long as you're patient enough to listen to the man.
I listen to it mainly for Dandy Don Meredith anyway. So,
Nikoski, you even know who we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay. I caught.
Hell yes.
He was a guy of the times. But yeah, he overexaggerated a little too much sometimes.
and when him and Muhammad Ali, I mean, their one-on-one interactions and stuff. Them two.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You are talking about a real broadcasting legend, Howard Cosell, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Howard Cosell.
I just knew you were on the younger side of things. I wasn't sure if that was.
I'm not that young, bro. I'm 35 now.
I know. I don't think he was broadcasting in the 80s, was he?
I think a little bit.
I think he might have been. Because
I think he was dipping. That was his later end of his thing. He was dipping into
John
the
Madden came in. I watched videos of him and John Madden.
Ooh, right. Best yet, ABC Sports. When Howard Cosell would do that, like do the boxing world Olympics boxing matches and stuff. He could just sit there and give you these nuggets about these boxers that you'd never heard of until.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Please don't burn yourself. Thank you.
ABC Wide World of Sports, where that poor guy killed himself on that ski ramp or ski jump
over and over and
over.
Wide world.
You kept waiting to see if maybe he would actually land. Never does.
This guy's like, they need to get rid of that agony of defeat line because this is killing me to see every time.
Here's the agony.
I remember that so well.
Oh man. I kept hoping one day he would land. On his
just one time, man. I just need hope.
Just once.
What's going on, Brandon?
Jack still thinks Andrew Luck's coming back if he's looking for hope that way.
How you doing, Brandon?
Why not?
I'm doing all right.
Well, so we got a few people in here. So I'm going to go ahead and make the vote now. Actually, it's not really a vote. Just throw out who you would like. My next free agent film room. Who do you guys want it to be on? And it's got to be someone who played significant time last year.
Okay.
And
Don't
we'll start with loyalists, and then we'll go across and down.
Oh, I've been seeing a lot of the film. Give me a minute. Go ahead, Joe. I'll come back to me.
I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is really not a serious suggestion. I just find it interesting that prevailing wisdom in the building is that Juju Smith-Schuster is going to walk. He's going to move on.
Juju would be a good kid for the Colts.
He wanted to play with Big Ben, and he liked Mike Mitchell. And neither one of those guys are on a team this year. So
free agents.
He's going to move on. And that's just off the top of my head. I can't, I know Yins need more of a pure X guy. I just feel like it's an
NFL
interesting
free agents.
Wait,
Allen Robinson.
You saying he likes Mike Mitchell, the safety?
No, the wide receivers coach. For the
okay. I was gonna say, because Mike Mitchell, the safety, is now the Colts assistant coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, secondary.
No.
Yeah.
It's just something that, I don't know. I doubt he's going to do that. I don't know. I can't really think. I mean, you already covered Allen Robinson, maybe DJ Chark. Even though,
okay.
Yeah,
I can look at Chark.
And me, Lawrence.
Anyway, I'm not going to hog.
And I'm not going to say any specific player, but if somebody that is going to be able to, and you can ask Brandon, somebody that can fill that D in and also would make a really good, Leo, whatever this dynamic change that we're hoping for to be, just something in the D pass rush. I'm just
okay. All right. I know you've already asked about him, so I'm assuming that you're talking about Chandler Jones.
No. Because like I said, I did the math, and that's not a feasible one. But like today, I was sitting there, and looking at help me, Brandon. What was the dude's name?
From the Saints.
Yeah, Davenport. Marcus Davenport.
Marcus, guys, not Julian. Yeah, Marcus Davenport. And I was watching him, and I know he's got 1 year left, so he's not a free agent per se, but
yeah, it takes some trades.
Mm-hmm.
I really kind of want a free agent name though, rather than a trade.
And that's why I was saying if you knew of somebody that would fit the bill, because I've been looking and I've gone through the top 150. I just don't. Randy Gregory maybe, but I don't know. That price tag I have a feeling is going to be a bit bigger than the Colts will do with all the red flags that young man brings with them. Go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
I got nothing.
Well, you passed Matt.
No, we went Joe.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
He's a free agent. I don't know if he's going to be retained by them. I have no clue if they're going to retain him or not. There's a lot of the wide receiver talent is deep this year. So why pay him when you can go out and get heavy? It's insane how many wide receivers are going to be out there. So why not go out and get a new one when you have Keenan Allen, you have a lot of different ones, and bring someone new in and you let him walk because he's going to be worth a lot of money. So why not just let him walk and then go get someone else? You know what I'm saying? So I think he might be a free agent this year. It's a convincing thing. You know what I'm saying? To go get your cap down and then go get one of these great new guys. There's like 10 of them out there that are fantastic. In the thing, there's going to be their measurables are off the charts. That are the top 10 of them are going to be out there off the charts. So, why not just go get a new one out of there when you already have Keenan Allen out there, and then let Mike Williams walk? You know what I'm saying? So I think Mike Williams might be a good idea.
Okay, Mike Williams. All right. You said you didn't know. Did you think of any free agent that might be interesting, or a position that you would like to see a film room on, Jack?
Yeah. He's already done receiver too.
Left tackle.
Left
tackle.
tackle.
Okay.
DB.
How about Cam Robinson? Throw him in there.
Well, I could do that.
I know you already addressed the Allen Robinson thing. And you had a video where you talked about what are we going to do at left tackle.
Yeah,
I think that would be an interesting one to see the improvement that he's made this year. Because he
does have a little time on the field this year, but he doesn't have a lot. So I know what you're talking about. He doesn't have that lot of time on the field with the new one compared to last year, and you have a hard time, converting that. I understand.
I can't get back to previous years because of the stupid.
Yeah, I agree. They need to upgrade that. I totally agree with you on that. They should allow you 2-3 years for paying for that to allow multiple years.
Last year, I was able to go back all the way to 2012.
I don't know why they don't do that.
BS.
You're paying a lot of money for that. They should allow you to go back and get multiple years.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Especially content creators. They should put for content creators. They should allow content creators to get more use out of it.
Yep. Ninkowski.
Shibs, what the fuck are you doing?
He said
free agent.
Said cornerback.
DB.
Oh, defensive back. All right. Just a position. You're not worried about a specific player.
I want Juju because you can get him for cheap.
That's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's a wide receiver.
We need one.
You said DB.
No, we're saying what film room would you like? What film room?
Yeah, what film room?
DB position, DB.
All right. No specific player. Okay. All right.
Brandon wants.
I feel like we need to get deeper at defensive back. Like even how good Rock is gonna be. There's no bad in getting deeper. Guys, I
do have a film room on a cornerback that is a free agent this year that I put out last year.
Really, I wasn't part of this last year.
No, but it's on Ray's channel.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's on Ray's. Yeah, it's on Ray's channel. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
JC Jackson.
Yep. JC Jackson, and he's a free agent.
That's what I just said.
You know what? But if Mike was here, he would be livid right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mike is coming more to the realization that he's not thinking Belichick's going to pony up for it. So, but Brandon, go ahead and say your guy's name.
Rasheem Green. I love this guy.
We've done a serious dive into this cat, and it's an intriguing piece for sure.
The guy can play edge, inside. He can play special teams. I mean, it's just it feels too perfect. It really does.
Yeah, he's basically a younger, less injured version of Tyquan Lewis. Would you say that's about a fair assessment or comparison?
I think he's a little bit better, but
is Tyquan Lewis getting ready to walk because he kind of changed his profile pic?
I mean, he's a free agent, so an injured free agent. So I'm sure he's.
Does he know he's not getting signed? Probably.
Well, he may just know that the Colts have a history of letting people test the free agency waters, and
all right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. He's not. I don't see that it's a Kyler Murray situation by any means or nothing.
No.
Where the hell? That's weird because Rasheem Green would not be a defensive end for the Colts. He'd be a tackle.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Tried explaining that to that young man
because Quady.
Because he's 280 pounds.
That's what I said. Because of Quiddy and yeah.
Yeah, the Colts.
He'd be a right tackle, wouldn't he?
No, he'd be a defensive tackle, whether it be a 3 or a
D tackle.
1.
My bad. Yeah,
defensive
right,
tackle.
Yeah,
he's 280 pounds at 6'4".
Yeah.
He played defensive end for the Seahawks, but that's a bit different than what the Colts are running right now.
If you watch film of the dude, most of his technique is on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Most of his technique is on inside moves. Almost all of it.
I mean, I could imagine him being, the right defensive end, but I don't know about being a left defensive end because you, under what, under the way this
Bradley.
new scheme is running, Gus Bradley, he's going to want someone that's in the 250 to 260 range and probably 6'2" to 6'5",
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. I said the exact same thing last time.
But
And
I
I'm
mean,
not
he could.
disagreeing with that. I feel like if you have a guy who's, because we had people getting 80% of the snaps. If you get this guy, you can rotate him and keep him fresh and have good solid depth all around.
Oh, I get that.
You got Buckner and Rowe too.
Who are you going to replace him with? Who are you replacing though on the line? I mean, are you going to put him at D tackle? Are you going to put him, where Stewart is, or you ain't putting him where Defoe is? I mean, because if you're going to hire Rasheem Green, you're going to end up paying him some money.
Yep.
So it's I don't. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, almost all of his, and he has. We did watch some film of him lining up in that Leo spot.
On the right,
but his technique was always on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Always on the inside.
Yeah.
He's more of a stunt guy. He's more of a, they played some isolation concepts with him on the left tackle, but his technique was always to the inside every single time.
So Lawrence, the Leo, would you consider the Leo an old school tweener?
Oh yeah, he's a tweener.
Yeah, okay.
He's between. He's old school. Actually, he's more like what your general outside linebackers are now,
right?
Rather than your defensive ends. They're more. The Leo is more of like an outside, like a TJ Watt, would be perfect for that situation. Not
what I'm
saying
talking about is like
I want him.
I
do want him, but he's not coming to the Colts.
Okay, now
what I'm like is like Willie McGinnis. Willie McGinnis was a tweener, so he went back to linebackers or he came up to the line. Is that kind of tweener?
Yeah, kind of. But
okay.
So
he was too damn good at it.
Kind of very similar to the situation of how the Colts run linebackers now. 20 years ago, they didn't have positions for those guys.
Right.
They were considered safeties, at the best.
All right.
For those kind of linebackers. Like Cato June was one of the first guys who's now a linebackers coach for the Colts, was one of the first guys that was a very similar to Darius Leonard. And they were considered a tweener at the time. Darius Leonard's considered a tweener with the linebackers, and now you're looking at your 240 to 260 defensive ends are very hard to find. They have to be on a very specific type of scheme to play the defensive end position. Otherwise, they'll just get bowled over too much.
Okay.
So what do you think? You think that I'm excited to see what Cato brings to this linebacking core and stuff. I really think that he's going to bring an element of intelligence. I feel like he's going to be like that Andrew Walker, but just obviously not on the field. But you know what I mean? This
Anthony
dude was
Walker.
Sorry, what did I say? Andrew. Reporter. Yeah, that's his fault. He was a reporter back then. with Colts.com. But
Anthony Walker.
that's why I always call him AWOC, because I always screw that. But anyhow, he was real cerebral, but yet I wouldn't say he wasn't physically gifted. He just didn't have the Darius Leonard and Bobby Okereke speed and length. You know what I mean? He was that's fast but smart, and he always put himself in good positions, by diagnosing the play and stuff and what he saw on field. And I think that's going to be massive.
He's the exact same size as Okereke.
Mm-hmm. But Okereke was longer. At least it just seems like
he's got longer arms.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got longer arms. But you're looking at a guy who's like 6 foot, 225. That's about where those linebackers are running for the Colts right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how to run that specific scheme with that specific type linebacker. So it could be a lot better than what we had the previous years with the linebackers we had, because he knows what these guys can do and what they're capable of, and what they need to do to be effective in the run game as well. Yeah.
Do you know if he has any ties with Gus Bradley or any fitting into that scheme or anything? Have you had a chance to check into any of that? Because he only coached college, didn't he?
High school and college, yeah.
High school. Oh, he did.
He played. He did high school and college. Yeah,
that's right. You said he coached at his alma
mater. I like the fact that we finally get a guy that's played for the brand too, like that. I think that really does something, in terms of being able to.
Really got 2 guys who have played.
Yeah,
relate to the guys that
coach.
And I'm surprised when I'm surprised that Mike Mitchell was hired. I would have thought that, not that, I dislike Mike Mitchell. I like Mike Mitchell. If there was a former safeties guy that was going to be a coach, I would have actually went with Pops, Mike Adams.
Yeah.
But, Mitchell is a guy who played in a lot of different teams and know a lot of different schemes, and has been around, so he's got a lot of knowledge. So I think that'd be good for him.
They're waiting for D-Butts when D-Butts goes into coaching. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be an interesting. I like his mentality on the field. I like the way he played. So
D-Butt?
Yeah.
Oh, Darius Butler.
Yeah, I know.
And he's another guy that's sort of figured things out, as far as how to communicate to get these guys and how to get.
Everybody's screaming for Robert Mathis, and Mathis isn't going to take it because he's going with the gridiron gang. He's been running that for years now.
Why would he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because to his point, he can have more effect for the Colts organization just if they want to run guys through his system and stuff. He could be more effective to helping them that way than he would be on the sideline, because then you've got the NFL with all these regulations and everything where he can't spend a lot of that off-season time with them.
Yep. So what's the next conversation? We're an hour in. What are we going to talk about? Well, hold on. We got all these suggestions. Who should I go with? What suggestion do you guys like the most? Should I go with a defensive back? Should I go with Mike Williams, Rasheem Green?
Well, you did a receiver, so let's.
Yeah, you did a receiver. You did a receiver. I didn't even think about that before I answered the question, but that's all right.
A pass rusher, like what Loyalist was talking about. So really, what?
I mean, if you want to address the Leo spot, I'm not sure Green is the dude. I mean,
he's not a prototypical Leo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he couldn't play the position. He's just not your prototypical Leo. You
have to lose 20 pounds too. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't.
See, that's why I was looking at, because I start from the high end, so I was looking at the Von Miller and Chandler Jones. I like Chandler Jones closer because I felt like he could fill in that Leo spot fairly nicely. Plus, he's used to putting his hand in the dirt.
Von Miller's not coming.
Yeah. Chandler Jones would do it.
Von Miller ain't done. Did you watch him play last year?
Oh, I said Von Miller.
Von Miller is
Miller's
not done.
coming to the Colts. Let's keep it real.
Oh well, I mean,
Von Miller is either staying where he is or retiring.
I don't know.
I don't give a shit.
The Rams are pretty heavy on the money right now. So
yeah.
I would say either Chandler Jones or Cam Robinson, one of those two.
I like Chandler. Chandler Jones would be an interesting.
Well, Jack wanted a left tackle, so
yeah, because honestly, Chandler Jones just does. I mean, unless you guys can figure something out that Brandon and I didn't, but I mean, a lot of pieces fit, but you start adding in that dollar amount and what it would do to the rest of the roster. It's just a
Chandler Jones would be interesting.
I the Colts could get Chandler Jones. They would just be a little tight on other stuff, right?
Right, correct. It would be very interesting, but he would be tight. But he is a sack machine, dude.
And to Lawrence's point earlier, the thing is Chandler Jones is not going to just have the Colts, trying to woo him over to their team. There's going to be a bidding more for a guy that's put up his production over his career. I mean, seriously, the guy's only not played double-digit games 2 years in his career. He's not hit.
You guys also pissed the Patriots off too.
Good.
Imagine if he stayed a Patriot.
How old is Chandler Jones?
31.
30.
32
He'll be
by the
32
time
this year. Yeah. So you might be able to get him.
2-year deal.
I don't necessarily think Yins really need an edge guy, though. I feel like Teray would be a really good fit for the Leo. I don't know. I'm
leery. I'm leery of that ankle for him to be put into
Right.
Leo and then having that change of direction. No, I'm not saying that he can. I'm leery that ankle may not hold up under that because right now he's one direction. I mean, I understand he bends and what I'm saying is there's not a whole lot of stop, immediate change of direction. We haven't seen him really produce very well in the run game. He misses tackles. So I'm not trying to shit on the dude because I like Kamoko, but there again, I feel like he's more that your typical 4-3, pin your ears back, get to the quarterback guy, and I just like I said with Chandler Jones, that dude he's got that dog mentality. He's got that, like I said, that productivity. And I just,
Amen.
God, I'm picturing him and DeForest and Grover and Quiddy and Dial, and I'm like, man, I just want to have a damn double-digit sack guy for the next couple
Grove
years.
Street is extremely underrated.
Who?
As an IDL, he is extremely underrated. I don't think a lot of people appreciate what he brings to that interior.
I didn't hear
with DeForest and Chandler Jones.
Grove Street.
Guys would be
Stuart Grover.
Yeah.
Grover, yeah.
Okay.
No, but you're right. With Chandler Jones and DeForest Buckner being two very similar body types, that'd make a left side of an offensive line scared to death.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
you'd scare the shit out of quarterback.
You're like, are you seriously? You got two Jolly Green Giants over there? The hell?
Colts will
they
have to
could
go to
fall down and grab me. Shit.
Colts will have to go to talk to Quentin and say, Quentin, shave like 5 or 6 mil off just for a couple years.
And they both can move, can't they? They both can move across the lines. I know Chandler can.
Yeah.
Chandler can go to the other side too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, DeForest Buckner's played defensive end a few times. He moves all over across the line.
Yeah.
He moved more
Chandler
year.
does too.
He moved more last year than he has in his entire career because they were just so working to get him out of the double and triple teams that they were trying to find different things.
Good, yeah. So I honestly, my opinion, I would do Chandler.
All right. I guess Chandler Jones will be my next guy. Everybody's talking about him. And I get it, money is an issue, but at the same time, this is free agency, and I'm also got to think about when he is signed, people who follow that team, whether it's Colts or not, whoever signs him will go and look at that, and that will help my exposure.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
so
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
unless the Cardinals re-sign him,
Yeah.
Right.
then
Yeah.
those
Does
fans
anybody
already
actually
know
know
who
a
the
Cardinals fan?
hell.
Does anybody actually know a Cardinals fan?
I'm
Mm-mm.
I seen
trying to
one on
think.
YouTube once. Does that count?
Yeah.
But he did take his name and everything off Facebook and stuff afterwards.
There we go. All right.
Oh no, you should do it. Kyler Murray. Just do Kyler Murray. Forget all this
Mm.
nonsense. Just do Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Just
Then
do Kyler
then you
Murray.
have
Then you can say the Patriots. I heard the Patriots are going to trade for Kyler Murray.
That's true. Yeah.
What
And
am
you
I
can say,
going?
you know,
That's
What
the new rumor in town.
What am I going to name the film room? Quarterback Smurf.
my Madden 22 team, my all Madden 22 team is what you should name it.
Quarterback that can't handle pressure.
Quarterback who can't reach the top
quarterback
shelf.
that gets flustered every time he snaps the ball.
Quarterback who needs a step stool to get dishes out of the cupboard.
Quarterback who,
And to be fair, Kyler Murray's not a free agent, so is
Yeah.
Well, so what? Who cares?
No, he's not.
Not yet. Not yet.
Kyler Murray
Not
is
yet.
the greatest quarterback we've ever seen.
I'm looking for actual free agents that may actually get signed. Trade rumors are one thing, less likely to happen.
Kyler Murray, the greatest quarterback in NFL history. We just don't know it yet.
Jordan thinks so. Jordan thinks it's going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things he thinks gonna happen.
I know, right?
I know. I tell you right now, with Jordan, he's got to be confused all the shit because he's like, they don't need defense, and Belichick doesn't think they need an OC.
Kyler Murray.
So what the heck is this team going to win?
Then he pops off. Then he pops off of the internet and goes plays Madden.
Lawrence is just like
Who ends up leaving the Cardinals first, Murray or Kingsbury?
Oh, it'll be Kingsbury.
Yep, I think so too. Although, you know what, though? A lot of the tension isn't with Kingsbury and Murray. A lot of the tension is in the front office. You know what I mean? So, who knows?
I agree with that.
I mean, you know, what'd you say?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree
I
with
mean,
you.
I mean, my initial take on that, because I would always lean in favor of the player, because that's just seems to be, you know, where the owner is going to go normally. But you think about it. I mean, these guys are real. The ones that are busting the ball, and how much of it? I mean, look at this. He's up for a contract. You know, how much of this is just trying to maybe water down his market or whatever, you know, what the price point and stuff is. You know, I mean, is this the thing now? Are we going to start disparaging these guys and shitting on them and stuff, and then turn around and no? My point is, though, is Arizona's sort of in the same boat that the Colts are. If they don't go with him, where do they go? You know, they're finding themselves asking that question right now. Some quarterback's better than no quarterback. You know,
I'm going to tell you this right now. I would take Carson Wentz over Kyler Murray.
Well, with the Colts offensive line, fuck yes, I would.
I'd take it twice a week and three times on Sunday.
Those big boys.
My grandparents out there. I'll still take Carson Wentz over Kyler Murray.
You know what?
Boys
we,
up there.
we need to see a season. Okay, this is what we actually need to see. A full season of Carson Wentz playing 17 games, right? Because
he did play 17 games.
Huh?
Well, preseason.
He played.
I think he's preseason too.
He just didn't have an off season, but he played every game last year.
Everyone,
He played
even
every
if he had
game.
two ankles that were shit.
No.
I think he means preseason also. He needs a good
Like
preseason.
the whole year.
But we need to see a
whole enchilada.
whole caveat of shit that needs to go on, like off-season workouts, this, that, and the next thing,
Yeah.
training camp, playing with your wide receivers just for fun, you know.
And that goes to what I was saying about, you know, is Irsay just trying to light a fire under Carson and stuff? You know, I mean, is this some sort of, you know, young Jedi trick? You're going to be better.
and And then if Carson is shitty again, then I will admit that I was wrong, and the Colts can let him walk for what? Free without giving him $15 million?
Yeah, yeah.
Walk away,
Next year.
sir.
Hey, here's the thing. What are the odds that Irsay and Ballard and that front office is pulling a magician's trick right now, leaking information, going look over here while we do this?
Yeah, like I said, this just
exactly,
does not fit.
Exactly.
This does not fit anything that these guys have done in their past. I mean, and it's just a weird dynamic. But let's be honest. The whole process has just been a weird dynamic ever since last year. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about just Carson, but I mean the way they dealt with the backup quarterback situation. This has just been the weirdest 12-month stretch for this organization as far as lacking in a stability.
I will say, go ahead.
In my 25 years or so of being a Colts fan since 1997, right? This seems like the most un-Colts like thing to do. Walk away from your quarterback that you're gonna pay to walk away. What the fuck? But yet you gave up so much to get him just last year. It just doesn't make sense.
No. Here's something that I'm going to say. I'm going to do that Chandler Jones film room, and I'm going to look in my crystal ball and say that after I drop that, Robert Mathis is going to quote tweet that son of a bitch and say, "We don't need any more pass rushers."
I agree with you 100%.
He would be right. See,
I agree with you 100%.
I would rather use that money and get two stretchers of the field on the offense, because that is where we actually need guys. Because even if TY comes back, TY should be good with taking a mentorship role. And that's what he does. God bless him. But his role needs to be, hey, I need a third down catch. Go get it.
TY needs to play slot.
Go get it. Third down. I believe in you.
As much as T.Y. Hilton gets hurt anymore, I don't want him playing slot.
But you don't need TY out there every offensive snap.
No, you don't. But TY over the last 3 years has played less than 50% of the games due to injury.
I'm saying
lower leg injuries. And that's an issue.
No, he was commenting to Matt's statement about TY.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he knew what you were saying, Nikoski.
When he's in the game, when he's dressed, he's out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he didn't play hardly at all last year because of lower leg injuries. And he's had lower leg injuries the last few years, and that's an issue. And if you play slot, you take a lot of hits, and that would just increase the chance of him getting hurt again. And I wouldn't want that.
See, this bothers me because I know what you're saying about Robert Mathis. But here's the thing: don't you agree that Robert Mathis made that statement with the assumption that we bring back Toure and Lewis? I mean,
yes.
Okay, and that's where, like I said, for me, I'm like, hey, bring me a dog in, okay? Let Toure and Lewis walk, find another young, whatever in the draft to because I mean, seriously, if you brought Jones in, okay, and maybe you sign Al-Qadim Muhammad for another 1 year cheap deal, if he doesn't get picked up or whatever. But my point is, you sit there and you get a Chandler Jones and you line him up with Defoe. Well, the guys we were just talking about. Can you imagine what type of playoff run that defensive line could give this team?
that defense, like if football was only a defensive game, that defense is the defense I would want out there for 80% of the game. Please get me,
as good.
please get me 2 field goals, and I'll defend the rest of the game.
If our secondary can stay healthy, I like our secondary a lot. I think if we ever got actual real good pass rush, I think our defense would be fucking top 5 in the NFL.
Well, Robert Mathis himself also said the only damn thing wrong with the Colts freaking D line is the damn position coach. Like you've been championing all year.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there you go. So why go that route? And you know, I mean, you what are you dropping? 56 this year?
Isn't he gone
Something
now?
like
So
that.
that's not an excuse anymore.
That bullshit. It's not an excuse. Ballard's done nothing but try to get defensive line the talent on his team for the last 2-3 years.
I mean, the D-line coach is out now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but who are you going to bring in? Is the point.
No, like I said, I seen Mathis say that. And that's the only thing I could process. I'm like, he's got to mean if we re-sign the guys that we already had. Because I'm
also, you have to be realistic on one front, and that's that Robert Mathis has a relationship with these guys behind the scenes, so he doesn't want to come out on the internet and be like, "Oh, we need to get rid of these guys," because they're his boys.
But Robert Mathis is just going to keep his mouth shut. If he feels like, you know, unless he truly feels that way, Robert Mathis is just going to not say anything. For him to go out on Twitter and say that, I mean, he's never really sat there and shown me to be the pandering type of person, you know. So, like I said, I'll take my hat off to his expertise and say, okay, get him there then, please.
It's most likely different when you work with guys, though, day to day, because you got to see them in the room, you got to see them on the field, you got to look them in the eye every day.
Yep.
I muted you, Brandon, because you had a bunch of background noise happening. I'll unmute you here in a little bit.
I think he's playing a video game or something.
No, I think it was the phone.
Okay.
But you know, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get it. You know, you got a new defensive coordinator who likes that scheme. Maybe he's gonna want a new shiny toy. You know, that's kind of hard to predict, actually.
No.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I look
Colts
at Ballard.
trade for Joey Bosa. Oh.
How old is that fucking guy?
I look at Ballard. I look at Ballard.
That fucking guy.
I look
Joey
at Ballard.
Bosa's
And I look at Ballard.
Yeah, he is. He is.
His history, though,
He's got to be 30, though.
He's like 26, 27.
He's 26.
Is
yeah,
he really?
yeah.
And then you're gonna have the same problem you've got with the offense. Okay, because Loyalist and I were talking about this last night.
He's been in the league 5 years already, though.
But he's 26.
Okay.
26.
Right, but Loyalist and I were talking about this last night, and you know, stats help you. Stats help you. They're an aid. They're a tool to find, you know, okay, to see into things to give you a little bit better view into that crystal ball that you're talking about. But they only help you so much because in Colts were what, second in the league, as you mentioned, Chuck. We're second in the league
in turnovers. Yeah,
in turnovers, and that would be that should be an indicator that this is a Super Bowl team. Because if you're getting that many takeaways, and the teams that are playing against you are not holding on to the ball, that's a Super Bowl type of stat that you look at to say, "Wow."
And they led the league right up until the last week of the season.
Right, but how many points were converted off of those turnovers?
Number 1 in the NFL.
In terms of points off turnovers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Number 1 in the NFL.
That doesn't see. That's wow.
Yeah, you guys were up there.
That's what I didn't know. I didn't have that stat in my head. I'm sitting here thinking, but okay, so
I was
what the
watching
heck
that all
is-
season. I was watching that all season.
What the hell's the problem here then? Like you're creating that many turnovers. You're getting. I didn't realize that they were converting that many of those turnovers into points.
Colts were one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL last year, believe it or not. But
So what
you
the
know,
hell was the fucking problem?
consistency. They were the best scoring first half team in the NFL, but one of the worst in the second half. That was the problem.
Just couldn't
Key
close out
moment.
games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's something that should typically be like an earmarker. Like, okay, you know,
What do you always say, Joe? You get small, your dick shrivels up and you get scared. Yeah.
Build a hill just like Belichick. Start getting some endurance going.
What did
Something
I miss?
like
What?
nothing.
All of a sudden, I'm hearing like
Minkowski was talking about dicks. That's all.
that's what I thought. And endurance and everything. I'm like, I don't know if I want to come back on this thing.
All right, welcome back, bro.
But yeah, and that's the other thing. It's the only thing that concerns me about Carson Wentz.
I'll unmute him now.
To be completely honest with you, I don't feel like he's got that killer instinct. He's definitely got the talent. But there's something there with me where looking at this from the outside in, where I just, and so that's an opinion though. That's just my bullshit opinion. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. There's just something in my view that I look at that guy and I say, this guy's not a fucking killer.
The only thing about Carson that I see, I have no faith that he'll leave everything on the field. I mean, you go look at the plays he makes. He's obviously trying. Sometimes I think he tries too hard. And I think that's his problem. He's trying to push it downfield too much. He's trying to not take that sack. He's trying, I think that puts the Colts in a bit of a bind. And the issue is they'll go in with a great game plan, and then in the second half, teams adjust, and then Carson Wentz doesn't either it's Carson or Frank, one of the two is not adjusting properly to the defensive adjustment, and that puts him in a bad situation. And that's where he's in that situation where he's, back in the back of the end zone, got two defenders hanging off of him, and he tries to switch hands and throw the football away.
I knew that.
You know which side I'm on this.
I get so tired of hearing people talk about that interception, I could puke.
Problem was there wasn't just one.
Mainly the reason why is the fact that if Carson did not get rid of that ball, that game was over.
Oh,
Period.
yeah. Oh, you're talking about
period.
the Titans game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we were talking
Yeah.
about the was that?
He did that a few times.
I know he did.
Brandon, I'm going to mute you again.
But they always come back to that Carson Wentz moment, and they always talk about that game and that play.
Well,
But if he got dumped, if he didn't get rid of the ball,
yeah,
game was
over.
over.
To safety, and you kicking it off to them, and
Yeah,
with the lead, and all they got to do is kneel it out, and the game's
right.
over.
I mean, the game was over.
Yeah,
Now, the interception later on pissed me off.
yeah, that interception was bad. That was a really piss poor decision. But that play was so bad this year that it became a meme for when anyone else did something similar. Kyler Murray just pulled a Carson Wentz. Jimmy Garoppolo just pulled a Carson Wentz. All year, you heard it whenever you watched games.
Jimmy Garoppolo
pulled a Carson Wentz.
Jimmy Garoppolo is a poor man's Carson Wentz. If Jimmy Garoppolo was put up against the kind of play that Carson Wentz faces against him week after week after week after week. Coming from Philadelphia to Indy, everywhere. Carson Wentz has never had a chance, really, with any offensive line in Philly and with wide receivers in Indianapolis. Yeah,
Okay.
we had a great offensive line, but an offensive line can only hold up for 5
My
seconds.
brain hurt.
Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to worry about getting rid of the ball super fast every 5 seconds because he's got Mike McGlinchey on one side and Trent freaking Williams on the other. All right.
Yeah.
He sees people coming at him if he's got a problem. The problem with Carson Wentz was his left side had issues with speed rushers, right? His right side at times had issues. I'm sorry, Braden, you got paid the big bucks and you let the Colts down this year because you did not pass protect nearly as well as what you were the years previous. Now,
Right.
to be fair, he had issues dealing with COVID and injuries and other stuff. Like he had that foot injury for a long time, you know, and stuff. What the hell was up with the Colts and foot injuries last year? The shit is wrong with this team? Like half the team went down with a foot injury.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
They
You
need
wanna
new
blame it on
shoes.
perf? You want to blame it on perf? But to your point, and to kind of rebut something in Koff's you said, Jimmy Garoppolo. I think comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Carson Wentz is like comparing apples and oranges. Jimmy Garoppolo has things that Carson Wentz doesn't have. Carson Wentz has things that Jimmy G does not have.
Explain.
It's too much of a difference there to me.
But no, I'm like yesterday. Those boys on Bring the Jews were talking about potentially, Jimmy G coming to the Colts and replacing Carson Wentz. And
I'm not watching that fucking video. I can tell you that right now.
And no. But even they said that it would be stupid because
Okay. All right.
you're
Joe's back to watching.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I
You're
will.
gonna
watch it.
pay both of them. Like you're gonna pay Carson Wentz $15 million to go and kick your ass somewhere
Why would
else.
you even consider that?
Like,
why would you even
that
consider
makes
that? in the
no
first place?
sense.
Well, hold on. Now
I wanna-
the
I
Colts paid 2 quarterbacks with Phillip Rivers and Brissett. Both paid them both fat cash.
Yeah, at least they were both on the roster, though.
That was a different. Okay, God bless Jacoby Brissett for what he did, but Jacoby Brissett in a winning organization is not gonna be your 10-game winner, your 14-game winner. He's just not. He's not.
How's that possible? He's a top 20 quarterback. They sold us so.
Okay.
They told us.
I'm making. Yeah,
sold us.
Sold us. Told us.
I mean, is he a top 32 quarterback in the league? No. On some teams, he's probably even a third stringer.
Like on Green Bay.
Well, right now, he would be Green Bay's starter if Aaron Rodgers was to walk.
I'm saying right now, currently, as the roster sits, he would be a third
Oh no,
stringer
he
on
would be.
the Green Bay.
He would be the backup.
I don't know. I think Jordan Love would probably be their backup.
Maybe
Okay.
not even on skill, but just for the fact that you want to see what the young man offers.
The
in
fact
in
that
the
you
heat of
know you
battle.
gave a first-round pick for the son of a gun.
Pick was
You
second.
know?
It made your life a living hell for 2 years solid over.
Right.
it.
Jacoby
get
be on the
something out of
practice squad.
Yeah. And Jacoby's that guy that you have on the team so that you got that extra energy whenever you score a touchdown. He can run out there and get pictures with him.
Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is a glorified Mike or Brian Hoyer. Okay.
No.
Oh
No.
God.
No. Brissett.
Why? Why?
Because
look
he had
at-
great leadership qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Hoyer's a good leadership.
So does
too.
Brian Hoyer.
But I look at I look Brissett, and honestly, I think Brissett and Teddy Bridgewater are very similar quarterbacks. I think they're
Really?
very, very similar quarterbacks.
Okay.
Me personally, I think as far as going back to that whole leadership, I feel like Hoyer might have been a decent leader for the offense, but I think Jacoby was a team leader. You know, I mean, he led the offense, he motivated the defense.
Correct.
I mean, he helped those guys
Mhm.
elevate through his leadership skills that way. And I'm not saying that's worth $20 million, but I wasn't signing that check, so it doesn't matter.
You're flying a
Didn't
lot.
have much choice at that time.
Yeah. I mean, at that
Didn't
point in
sign a year
time,
before.
yeah, at that point in time, you knew he was your starter, so you signed him. But you didn't sign him long term.
And remember, we were against the
Right.
salary cap, but in the opposite way. We were at risk of not spending that
You know.
X amount of percentage of money that year. You know, I mean, how they do the 3-year, you got to spend a certain percentage or whatever. That year, he was fortunate because we were real low on that. He was like, we ain't spent money in the last few years, so we're going to give it to this kid.
And you
only had
to,
2 games to. You only had 2 games to go off of from the Patriots.
In my
and you learned
opinion,
under Tom
too,
Brady, and
you needed to pay him at that time because it's like he was your
quarterback,
your guy. He was your guy. You needed to put faith in someone, and we weren't gonna bring back Andrew Luck. So
let me answer me this: which was the better sell job? Them trying to sell Sam Tavy and Julian Davenport, or them trying to sell us Jacoby Brissett as a top 20 quarterback? You know what I mean? This is both situations were bad. Both situations were bad.
It's got to be the turnstile because Jacoby Brissett did the best he could.
Breaking news.
What's up?
The Colts are supposedly hiring Nate Ollie as their defensive line coach.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yep.
Who's this from?
Guy I actually follow, and he's been on my show a few times. Aaron Wilson. He covered the Philadelphia or the Houston Texans for years and years and years. Yeah, he was with the Jets. He was with Philadelphia. He was with a couple places, but yeah, he was a defensive line coach for the Eagles. He was a defensive line coach for the Jets. And to be fair, the Eagles defensive line when he was there, very, very good.
Yeah.
Defensive line for the Jets, very, very good.
As I said, the Jets,
yeah.
That's the only bright spot that you have is your defense.
And think about it. These
So
guys,
that's a
strong interiors.
That's a good.
A little more questionable exteriors. Does that sound familiar to you?
I'll be good at home.
Fletcher Cox, or yeah.
We keep as NFL fans, we keep making fun of the Jets, but the Jets are building something.
Okay, there's a reason why we make fun of the Jets. Okay,
no, I get it.
Okay.
I get
There's
it.
a reason.
It's called they're shitty.
For that.
And they're gonna be
Okay.
shitty. But
it's not.
You need a professional.
It's a legitimate reason. Okay.
But to his point, is there's certain aspects of that organization that actually, if you just held it on its own value, it's better than what the overall picture would be of a Jets organization.
Yeah.
You need a professional come in on that one.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just saying, if we follow Premier League rules, the Jets and the Lions would not be NFL teams right now.
That's right.
We'd probably have, the Argonauts.
It comes in from the leadership.
Or the New Jersey
down.
Generals, for crying out loud.
Oh, great. The Generals and the Commanders. What a game.
Oh, yeah. The Commies.
The Comrades.
The Commies. And they're going to have the Cobra Commander as their mascot. Yeah.
The Commie.
But that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good because, the Jets have had, that really started with Rex Ryan, too. And somehow they've managed to maintain that consistency on the defensive side of the ball. They just can't get like anything right on offense at all.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy was also re-signed. By the
I
Chiefs.
heard that. Yep.
Good
So
for
all
him.
that stuff going around was BS.
Yeah, Aaron Wilson is actually an insider. He's a guy who I've had on my show. We've talked. I actually got his. I unmuted you again, Brandon. Hopefully, you don't have all that noise in the background again. But I don't
I
hear
have
it now.
no idea what it is. I really don't.
But
There's like nothing going on that it could be. I don't know.
yeah, I had him on talking about the beginning of the year. Actually, I had him on. We talked, me and Aaron Wilson, about the news when it broke during the preseason about Deshaun Watson. He was actually terminated as a reporter in Houston for that because he was reporting actual news that was saying there was nothing significant that was backing up these allegations, and they fired him for it. So
well, no, that's never happened.
Now he works for Pro Football Network.
Well, that's reporters don't report nowadays. Come on.
Really?
You ain't allowed to do that kind of shit.
I got a question, and it's not a Colts question, but so Joe, what are you thinking about the Flores hiring?
I think it was a still of the year.
Wrong side.
Yeah, look the other way.
I agree with that. I totally agree.
I feel like I'm on the fucking Muppet Show right now. Okay, just give me a fucking break here.
I agree with that. I think they got.
I'm going to start heckling you from the balcony.
What'd you say, Matt? I'm sorry.
I think he got the steel coach of the year. I do. I think that's. I'm jealous actually. I wish we had Flores as the defensive coordinator.
And do you?
Well, he's not a defensive coordinator.
No,
he's a linebackers coach.
Even though, still, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be coordinating.
But do you think that this is sort of helping protect Flores with the league and possibly coming at him for his accusations and stuff? Do you think this?
Really give a fuck?
Not at all. Not at all.
Mike Tomlin stood up and went out and hired him on purpose. That's what I'm saying.
I think he sat there and he's like, "This is a good dude, and I'm going to protect him." And and that's why I like that hire more. I like.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. I think what happened to him was dog shit.
Oh yeah,
he's so talented. He went out and got it.
Lucky to have him.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't judging. I was curious. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that
at
all.
And that's what I'm talking about. And Pittsburgh does things fucking. I'm sorry, but from an organizational standpoint, there's two franchises that stick in my mind that know how to do shit right. New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The organizational, I don't want to use the word integrity. I guess you have to use the word integrity at some point. It's just fucking there. Like there's just something about knowing how to do the right thing in those two fucking programs. It's just, you can't, I just don't feel it can be overstated. Like, fuck it. I don't, I was ecstatic when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely ecstatic when I was like, you gotta be kidding me. We actually got this dude. Because I mean, I'm not into the whole racism thing. I'm not, trying to open that Pandora's box or anything like that. But the bottom line is, what happened to that dude was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that dude was fucking wrong. He's a goddamn good coach, and we're lucky to fucking have him.
Yeah,
period. Point blank.
To Matt's point, Patriots were probably clamoring for him as a come back to the fold and stuff. I know I was like, hey, I'd love to see this guy as a DC for us. I mean, I was
because it's not going to be our team. It's kind of like, I forget the asshole's name who owned the LA Clippers. What's his name? Sterling. Complete total douchebag. Complete total fuckstick. Ended up getting forced to sell his team.
Yeah.
I hope that happens with some of these assholes because I'm a guy, and I know there are people out there who will.
Donald Sterling, bro.
Yeah, Sterling. Okay, yeah. There are people out there who say, "Well, we don't need former players as coaches. They don't know what the hell they're doing. You need a guy with this type of degree. You need a guy with this type of degree. We don't need ex-players as referees because they have to have a certain degree to do this. Like I need a fucking an MBA to know how to fucking break down a goddamn firearm. No, I've been doing it my whole fucking life. Okay. No. But I got to have an MBA to be able to run a fucking plant that manufactures firearms. Even though I could do this shit in my fucking sleep. But you don't have an MBA, so you can't fucking work here. Like that, it makes no fucking sense to me. Why a lot of these other guys, and the other part of this that I do agree with is that you've got a large majority of the NFL who are people of color.
Yeah.
And why do these people not have an opportunity to advance it to the highest level? If there are certain teams out there who are doing that kind of shit because, well, okay. Well, you don't like, you put your macaroni and cheese in the fucking oven and, you don't like the same kind of biscuits and gravy that I do. Ooh. Basically, we don't eat collard greens in my house. Okay, I'm not trying to be a racist here, but I'm just saying, if you can't appreciate what somebody's capable of bringing to the table because of semantic differences, there's a fucking problem there. There's a real fucking problem there.
I haven't eaten yet today, and Joe's talking about bringing to the table and talking about biscuits and gravy and collard greens, and I'm about to throw Joe out just because.
Let me get out of the way.
Just off principle, my stomach's growling. I got the stuff downstairs to make some sausage biscuits and sausage gravy and biscuits. And
nice.
I'm thinking that might be what I'll probably make.
Way to go, Joe. That was breakfast for tomorrow. Look
okay.
What you did.
Now it's a late supper. All right.
Early breakfast.
Really early
breakfast. I got bacon and eggs in there too.
I got bacon. I got eggs. I got sausage.
So did you guys see the end of the Michigan and Wisconsin game?
No.
Oh yeah.
Nice little fisticuffs. The head coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Juwan Howard sit there and it's like, I don't like my job. I'm going to swing at you. I'm
surprised like he hit slapped him.
And sort of.
That's just, it is. I was never a huge Juwan Howard fan anyhow, even back in Michigan, even in his Michigan days.
Did he get fired or suspended?
Suspended like 5 games.
Rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll see if he coaches in the final or in the tourney.
They weren't going to make the tourney.
The dance, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I feel like that was a steal of the coaching carousel right there, because now you basically have two head coaches.
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin could just focus on taking people's fucking phones away, and Flores could call the defense
and not have to worry about tanking.
Not have to worry about tanking. What are you talking about?
The owner of the Steelers ain't gonna come up to him and say, "Hey, I'll give you $100,000 every game."
No,
Joe was trying to figure out how you were dogging the Steelers and for what are you talking about?
That's like nothing to do with Colbert talking about Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback going forward.
That's tanking. I'm just saying.
I think we all agree. I think we all agree.
See, that's legal tanking.
No, it's not.
That's
No, it's
pissing off
not.
your fans tanking.
Talk to the Steelers fan base. That's not legal.
Yeah. Definitely.
4 words. Jameis was actually 6 words. Jameis Winston, Mitch Trubisky, Gardner Minshew. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
You know what's funny? I mentioned about a month and a half ago, Mitch Trubisky, and
Yep.
you was really not happy with that name when I brought it up.
I thought they should give Haskins a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought they should give Haskins a shot. But if they have that little confidence in him, they're going to retain him on a tender. But if they have that little confidence in him, okay, all right. I'd rather do that than Jimmy G. I'd rather do that than Carson Wentz. I'd rather do that than Aaron Rodgers or fucking Russell Wilson. Okay.
I just, you could have put freaking Joe Montana behind that offensive line for the Bears, and he would have been shit. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm not saying that Mitch Trubisky is an all-pro Hall of Famer on the right team. I'm just saying that, his situation did not help him at all,
Right. And for a stopgap dude who's not going to break the bank for you, and so you can, rebuild the things that you need to rebuild after Ben Roethlisberger just basically dropped a giant pile of fucking dog shit on Heinz Field this last 2 years. It is what it is. You gotta, I think. But if the team has that little confidence in Dwayne Haskins, I'm looking at Haskins' upside. But clearly, the Pittsburgh organization is seeing something that's saying, "Yeah, we still don't know about this dude." Like
Breaking news.
what?
Hang on, let me read it. Yeah, Roethlisberger is coming back for a 1-year prove-it deal.
Okay.
At $57 million.
$57 million contracts, $5 guaranteed money.
Hey, I didn't even have to say it this time.
Fully guaranteed. Fully
I
guaranteed.
said it earlier, but you weren't here, so that's why I had to do it again.
Prorate his fucking bonus over the next 10 years.
Fully
And have
guaranteed.
fucking 70 million fucking dead cap hit.
Jesus criminy. TJ Watt's
We're gonna be bringing kids up from
$31 million
Aliquippa High School.
cap hit this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Brian and I were going through and looking through some of the others. There was one was 46 million cap hit.
10 million in dead cap.
I think Breeze is making more money from the Saints than
almost
of the
a
football
fucking
players.
Bobby Bonilla situation. Almost.
You got
We almost
30
paid
million.
this motherfucker until 2050.
The Steelers have about $30 million in cap space next year.
Which ain't too terrible, but
No.
I say bring back McLeod over fucking Juju.
But what has McLeod done, really?
Have you watched film of the dude?
He has like.
Have you watched film of the guy?
Not really.
Okay.
I've watched
my
games,
personal
though.
opinion.
I've watched games.
And you haven't seen any Ray McLeod's film. I'd say bring him back over Juju. I would take him over Juju any day. Twice on Sunday.
Is it character, field presence? What need for the team? What would be your reason?
Special teams. For one thing, the fact that he can play almost a Deebo Samuel like role for that team. He's fucking dangerous, bro. He's fucking dangerous. And, he gets the ball in his hands. Look the fuck out.
Hey, I got a question. I'm sorry. What do you think of Chukwuemeka?
Who?
the rookie right tackle.
No.
No.
I mean, that's gonna be the first fucking thing I would address in the fucking draft, regardless if it's a left tackle or right tackle. Move the guy inside the guard. Leave Kendrick Green where he's at. Let him play center. He's good at it. Move the fucker inside to right guard.
Both of your backup swing tackles are ex-Colts. I didn't realize that until just now. I knew about Zach Banner, but I did not realize Joe Haig was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Haig. Yeah.
And Haig got the best playing time out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, okay, that's fucking fantastic. In an emergency, sure, yeah, you got 2 swing tackles on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That's great.
Now you need some starters.
Now you need a couple of Now you need a couple of bookends out there. Okay, move the fucker inside the guard. Let him, okay. Leave fucking Green where he's at. Let him play center.
What about Moore?
I don't know, bub. I don't know. It's been such a mess. I just.
Well,
I'm telling you what I'm telling you what I'm doing right off the fucking rip. I'm drafting 2 offensive linemen in the first 2 rounds of this draft. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. Because it was such a fucking mess this year. It just was not. You got to get Najee Harris some fucking help. I don't give a shit. Go get Jameis Winston. Go get Mitch Trubisky. Go get fucking Gardner Minshew. Go get somebody other than Mason Rudolph. You have fucking Haskins on a retainer. Offensive line. Bam, bam. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Because it's that bad. It's that bad. I don't like. Fuck, man. They've had fucking guys come off of the defensive interior playing offensive line. It's that fucking bad. Mm-hmm. So, Haig, I don't have a problem with Haig, but he's not a guy.
No. Haig is he's not a people mover, right? He's decent in technique. He's pretty good when it comes to pass protection, I think. He's just not a people mover in the run game. At least that's the way he was when he was with the Colts.
Right. And so to that point, your whole entire scheme is supposed to be the outside zone run. Mm-hmm. You don't need a guy like that on the interior. Leatherwood would have been nice for that purpose, for your gut punches and shit like that. But honestly, when I was thinking about him, I was thinking, well, if I could get him at the top of the second round like we had last year, which we obviously didn't have the opportunity to do, you could potentially move him out to tackle after a year or 2, maybe. Okay. But we didn't get that depth piece. We didn't get that. But your outside zone run scheme, that's why I like the idea of Winston. If you get the offensive line more, because you don't have to be a people mover in the outside zone run scheme. Your short shuttle is your best friend when it comes to drafting those kinds of guys. So we'll see what happens at the combine, and we'll see, who I really, really want to get in that type of situation, so that you could, because you have to move people. You have to. It's more scheme than it is actual. You don't need, obviously, those guys are a rare commodity these days, but it's not. No, I'm drafting offensive line first and second round, period. Point blank. That's
Are they going to have a combine this year?
Yes.
Next Thursday starts it up.
Okay.
They lifted
the agents.
the
They're
bubble.
not going to boycott it. They get that.
They lifted those restrictions.
I'm saying they get that crap straightened out.
Yeah, Brandon even won some tickets to it, so it's pretty
Egg
cool.
was actually a decent addition.
Brand's going Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Brandon's going in his
Brandon's never going to trust me again. I got to stop.
Brandon's going in his Colts gear.
This is my home field.
That's why I like that. That's why I
home field advantage,
like
man.
Joe Haig in that. That's one of the reasons why I do like Joe Haig in Matt Canada's system, is because of the lateral movement. He's got that technique to be able to fill that role. And you're looking basically, you hire a new guy for your offensive coordinator. Ben Roethlisberger still thinks it's bully ball with fucking Bruce Arians and all this bullshit. Run it up the gut, throw a bomb. Run it up the gut, throw a bomb. Run it up the gut, throw a bomb. It's not how this shit works. And then you got people fucking calling for Canada's job already after one fucking year. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, no, just no. Let this fucking play itself out. Let's get some guys in there who can move in space. And do some decent, halfway decent, gap pickups and shit like that. You're basically, it's the old, it's sort of the old fucking Shanahan offense. Kind of, sort of. Stretch plays is what you're talking about. Let's see who can open up a hole where, basically. And Ozzie Harris is an intelligent enough back to be able to identify it and do it. So those are the kinds of guys you need. That was one of the things I was high on Leatherwood with. He did have that good lateral movement, but he's not being utilized properly in Las Vegas either. He also had good chemistry with Harris. So, I mean, those are the types of guys I'm targeting for that offensive line. I think Haig's a good addition. Moore, I'm not really sold on. But we'll see. A core four, just no, thank you. No, thank you. He's the one who actually flip-flopped from the defensive side to the offensive side at one point. And that just shows you how desperate they are for offensive line talent.
Leatherwood commits too many easy penalties.
Well, okay, and I get that's rookie bullshit. That's rookie bullshit. He also didn't really have a head coach last year.
Well, that's true.
You getting any of this weather, Jack?
Weather?
Yeah, we're getting. I know Matt's getting crushed. We're getting hit over here in Indiana and stuff. And I know Joe said he's catching a bit of us. Seeing if you were down there,
I got 3 inches of sleet sitting outside right now.
Mm-hmm. We've had rain. We've had rain off and on the last couple of days, and
what weather?
Down in the low 30s at night, but it was 46 today.
It's fucking 72 here in Florida.
Tomorrow, and then I think by Saturday we'll be about 75 degrees.
See?
I'll turn my damn air conditioner back on again.
We had 63 degrees 2 days ago, and now today it's 28 with, like Lawrence said, nothing but ice.
Yeah, I got 3 inches of sleet sitting out on my front porch.
We had that about this time last year, and it shut the whole place down. So
it's not even snow. It's not. It's just sleet.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? That's nuts.
70 degrees.
Yeah,
there you go, folks.
It was Mike I was talking to. I forgot it wasn't Matt. Yeah.
Matt decided he didn't want to join us anymore.
Hey, I would love it to be a little colder here. Okay, I'll take 10 degrees from you guys.
I'll fucking trade you.
Yeah,
I'll trade you.
I don't even mind the cold. It's the ice. It's such a pain in the butt because I'm fat and old, and I'm the one that's got to clear all that ice off. And it's like, I have enough trouble walking on my own without help from Mother
I have
Nature.
enough trouble
After
walking.
after
Yeah.
the sleet
And
storm, or after,
it reminded me last year what it feels like when you slip and fall down on the shit too.
that's what happened to me last Saturday.
He
Yeah.
did, man. He did. I felt sorry for him.
Lawrence put out a perfect tweet. He says, you know what? When you're 18, 20, you slip and fall and you look around and you hope nobody saw you.
Right.
But when you're
Saw you.
46,
I've done it when I'm 20. Yes.
when you're
I've done
46
it when
to
I'm
50,
20.
you
I
slip
know.
and fall and you pray somebody noticed.
Somebody help.
To call 911.
That's what I felt like when I slipped and fell at 64 last year. Gee, I hope somebody, and I had a young black fella come over and help me out and all that kind of shit. So
No one saw me. I was walking from my car to my house with 2 pizzas in my hand. I put 1 foot on my concrete step to my front porch,
I'm down.
and I went down like that. Pizzas went up in the air. The top one became lawn ornaments, and my hip landed on the concrete ice step, and my arm landed on the ice covered wooden porch. And I just laid there. I was like, someone help. Someone. I laid there for like 10 minutes. No one came.
Can you walk, bro? Are you good?
Before it was, I thought maybe I like cracked my hip or something. I thought it
Oh,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
It
No
was
shit.
it was
Yeah.
it was painful as shit. And to this point it's still sore to touch.
Okay,
But
well,
and so same with my arm. But I'm okay. I'm okay.
You know why? You know why? You know what he did?
I
Rub some
you know
damn
what
dirt
he
on
did?
it.
I rubbed
He
ice
rubbed
on
some
it.
fucking dirt on
No, the best thing I could have done after hitting like that was actually just to lay there in the cold on that ice after hitting, because
Yeah.
I'm icing the wound.
Numb
I
it.
just lay there.
Let it go numb.
All right.
I want to know, did you enjoy that second pizza though?
The first one that hit.
Yeah, it's
it
lawn
has a
ornament.
lawn
But the
ornament,
first
lawn
one,
ornament.
did
The
you eat
first
the second pizza?
Yes, I ate the second pizza.
And it
Oh,
was
okay.
good.
At least
right.
you
Twice
had
as good.
something.
It didn't even
It's
look like
twice
it was
as good.
messed up. And thank God it had all of my sauces in that one.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. There you go. It's got to have the sauces, man.
Oh, by the way, I'd like to give a round of applause to old Joe over there. Right? Yeah. Joe, congratulations on being a granddad, man. First
I heard
time
about
There you
that.
granddad.
go.
oh,
Good man.
congratulations,
Good man.
brother.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I'm a granddad. I'm a great uncle 4 times over.
I
But
can tell you,
I'm a great granddad.
I better not be a granddad.
God, I hope I'm not.
I became a granddad last year. So
No, my daughter, my 18-year-old daughter that's sitting in the house here is going to have some splaining to do if that's the case.
I mean,
Let's see.
she's an adult.
all in due time, right?
I don't know. She's got 30 more years before she
Is
can do
she-
it. I told her
is she-
48.
Wait, your 18-year-old daughter has some splaining. She gonna have to sit down and have that birds and bees talk with you, there, loyalist.
Damn Skippy,
is that-
because I'm going to tell you what happens to that bird and that bee.
The bird eats the bee, and then
Yeah. And then there's a flower.
Right?
How old are you, Chuck?
50.
Oh, you're not a granddad yet?
No, sir.
Oh, damn. I got an early start. I was 39 when I became a granddad.
No. I didn't even have my
Damn.
first kid until I was 32. I was too immature for it.
My daughter waited
Wow.
till she was older. So
I was driving over the road for a long time, so it just wasn't conducive to relationships and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I did it too. I know what you mean.
I was 44 when I became a granddad. Oh, 2 hours. Wow.
yes,
That-
sir.
That
Great
time
granddad.
went by pretty good. That was a that time went by really fast. We had a really good conversations this last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah, it
quick,
felt like
guys.
it flowed pretty good.
Wanted to let all you guys know next week, right? Lawrence, we're still on for that. Next week
Yeah.
being a little different. Okay.
Did you
So
say it was
next,
Thursday, like when we
Yeah.
normally have our Patreon stream?
Yeah. So we're going to do something a little different from next week. What we're going to do is we're going to have a lot of the other content creators on and stuff, and just we know that we're getting ready to get into this whole season of get this, get that, get this, and I was just like, you know what? I'd just like to have one show where we could just sit there and brag or be happy about or talk about all the things that we do have, like, you know, and stuff. So we get some of these other content creators in and have a show where, you know, you guys can ask them questions. It's only going to be Patreon is how we're going to do it and stuff. And then Lawrence and I are going to edit it and send it out in segments or whatever, you know,
And this is how it's going to look like.
No. My brain doesn't work this way. My brain doesn't work this way. But we've got acknowledgments from Kobe or BTJ. They're all coming on. We got Matt from Horseshoe Colts. We got
Wait, we're
no horsing arounds coming.
We're still gonna be on here like normal, right?
Well, it's a numbers thing. Right now, I've invited 12. Knowing that some of them are going to drop off, but what we'll probably do is like try to rotate people.
Yeah, it'll be a recording. We're not going to go live. We're going to record it, and then people will get rotated in and out. Different people could come in at different times, right? Mm-hmm. And that way everybody gets screen time. That sound good?
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to try to keep it positive and just talk about not so much about what we want to get or what we need to get. This is just going to be about guys that are under contract. This is, these are the guys that we're going to sort of try to focus on and just, talk about where to go from there and those type of things. You know what I mean?
Well, you just want to keep it positive. You just can always talk about how bad the Steelers' offensive line is.
So let me just clarify for myself, because I'm a little bit, I like to ask questions. We're not gonna hang out like this.
It's up to you. You can sit there and watch or whatever. Lawrence, are we going to just have the creators on, or do you want to let the Patreons on? How you want to do that?
We may move Patreon only and do that on a Saturday, maybe.
All right.
Next week, rather than have it on Thursday, since he wants to do it this way. And then if you want to come on this recording next week, we can do that as well. And we'll rotate you guys in as the recording happens. And it's just going to be a recording, and we're going to cut out any bad stuff, because it will be published. All right.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to sit there and hopefully maybe get a little traffic in through the Patreon and stuff, but also try to get some traffic and get some people in here because what the fuck you mean, man?
No F-bombs.
So, but yeah, like I said, we'd like to have you guys in there and asking them all the questions and stuff for sure. Even if you don't want to be on mic or whatever, just
no 4-letter F words. No mention of Ford.
Wait a
minute. Are you talking about the Canadian Ford?
Yes. The mayor that passed away.
Yeah.
And then the fucking his brother became the prime minister of this province. God damn it.
Yeah.
This is
discrimination. Yeah, I've learned
discrimination. We have a known racist sitting over there. Over
okay,
that spot. Known racist over here.
Brandon's taking all the smoke, but at least he's the only one you can't see.
He's wearing a white hood right now.
Oh shit!
He's burning a cross.
And burn it. Yeah. That's the next thing he's gonna do.
Well, my parents' first two cars, my dad's first two cars, one was a Dodge, which was you know, he still has. That's 71 Super B. And his second car, which was the first one I was ever like, it was our driven around as our family car when I was really young, was a Gran Torino.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not, look, I've been a Chevy guy. Okay.
All the way around? All the way around? Cars,
I have
trucks,
been
everything?
a Chevy guy for most of my natural born life. Monte Carlo, hey, fuck, or GM at least, Pontiac. Okay. The GTO, one of the greatest fucking cars ever made.
Oh yeah,
about it.
GTO.
67
about
Goat. Are you fucking
Super
kidding
Sport.
me? Forget about it. Forget
little
about
bow
it.
tie.
One of the greatest cars ever fucking made, if not the greatest car ever made.
Amen. Yes.
Corvette. Okay. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. Until, the 1980s when they, fucked the whole thing up.
I don't know. One of my favorite Chevys is a Mach 1.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin Rick is a big Mopar guy. And there's some good things about the Mopar. I like what they're doing with the Chargers right now.
Mhm.
I think the Hemi is one of the best power plants out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. For the trucks, I'm not sure about the Rams now with that shit. With the Hemi. Yeah, okay, it is a good power plant, but I'm telling you right now, a fucking 7.3 fucking liter Power Stroke F350. That's one of the best diesel engines ever fucking made. Ever. Period.
Only diesel engine that I've ever owned was in a car, and it was one of those converted gas engines over to diesel through Oldsmobile.
Okay, all right.
So I never actually owned a decent. I've drove several of them as like I said, over the road and stuff, but I never owned any of those. But yeah, my car in the state of Indiana, it's just not a good time to have a diesel. Half the time of the year, you gotta sit there and let everything warm up and get before you can get it going and stuff.
Yep.
I have a dream car that I want. What's your guys' dream cars? Like, if you could have a car right now that you've always wanted but never had.
Paid off.
I have a car that's paid off.
I'm so broke I can't even dream, brother. I'm just.
I'll start it. I've always wanted a '67 Shelby Cobra.
Okay, that's not a bad. That's a good one. Shelby, yeah.
I got one up the street from me. Guys got one. Nice car.
Yeah, it is.
I like the late '60s GTOs. I
With
like
the Cunningham
bow ties.
fucking racing stripes on it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. The GTOs,
the
Super
Goat.
Sport. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fucking
That is mine. That is mine, hands down.
What color?
With the nice Michelin tires.
Fucking black. Yeah. On black. On black.
I've seen an awesome paint job, and if I could ever figure out how they did it, I'll do it. It was wicked as shit. It started off like this standard blue, like like Colts blue at the very nose of it and stuff. And it just goes in, and it's like just keeps getting darker and darker and gets into almost like this purple and everything. And then by the ass end of it, it's just got this high gloss black on it. And then on the rear bumper, it says "Fade to Black, bitches." It's what it said on the back. I seen that, and I was like, "That's me."
Sexy. It's got a sexy fucking hood.
I
mean, the front of it is just sexy on it. It is just lights out, and and when you step on that fucking gas, it just, you can hear it. It's got fucking power, man. I'm just like, I'm telling you, man, it's fucking awesome. I love cars. I love fucking cars. If I can go to a fucking event around here and look at them, it's just, I go to it, man. I love fucking old cars. I hate fucking new cars now.
You need to come up to Indiana during the first 2 weeks of September, dude.
July.
July, yeah.
July.
Yeah, because they've got Super Chevy Sundays, and they've got freaking NHRAs, just events all around.
Here in Grant County, we have a car shows for like 2 weeks, remembering, who was that actor? Hold on.
Paul Walker?
No.
No,
No.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of it either.
Hold on. My brain is James Dean. It's
Oh,
James Dean days.
The bullet.
Yeah,
Okay.
James Dean.
The bullet, baby.
James Dean.
Yeah, James
Yeah.
Dean days. It's just car shows after car shows all through this county. All right. In his hometown, Fairmount,
nice.
they have a massive one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then and then in Gas City, which is like 10 miles away, they have one the week prior, and yeah, that's if you like cars, that's the time.
You guys are a car city. Yeah,
You give me my brand spanking new 3500 Dodge Ram, and then you turn around and give me my 67, GTO. I'm done.
Yeah, I win the lottery. I will buy one of those. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Nikoski? Sorry about that.
What?
You were saying something and I cut you off.
I have no idea, but that's okay.
Right on.
There's
no clue.
Well, if I win the lottery, I want a 70 Roadrunner. I want a 70 Superbird.
Oh, I do like the Roadrunner.
I remember what I was going to say.
I want Superbird.
You guys, Loyalist and Law, both each need a golf cart like that Houston Colts fan has.
It's funny you talk about the Roadrunner. People confuse the Roadrunner and the Super B.
Super B, yeah.
Yeah. People.
No, I know the difference.
And they don't look anything alike.
No, I like the Buick.
No.
They especially in that
I know
70 model.
With the license
They don't look
with the
anything
license
alike.
plate with the license plate of your like Twitter handle / nicknames. That would be awesome.
I like the Roadrunner.
I
like the Buick Roadrunner.
Oh, you go. The Super B is nasty. I'm just saying. My dad has one. He beat a 67 vet in that sumbitch in a straight run, no problem.
You think I would like that one better?
I don't. Well, depends on how you like how a vehicle handles too. Because they handle differently.
Yeah, most of the cars that we're talking about, handling's not their strong point.
He's got a little bit more
sir.
sled to it, but yeah.
Straight line and smooth.
Another place in Indiana, if you like cars, is go to Auburn, Indiana.
Yeah.
Because they have the Duesenberg museum there. And it is freaking beautiful. They got they have the original DMC there. They have a bunch of vehicles. I don't know if you know what a Duesenberg is?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't Duesenberg. I'm not.
I'm 47 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
GTO,
okay? I'm not down with the DMC shit, but that was a.
What about Brandon?
I know the car. I can't believe GM fucking fired that dude.
Yeah.
You got one, Brandon?
Yeah, I know.
Brandon, you got a car?
If I'm talking like realistic, like something that's possible if I like grinded hard for it, I'd Ford GT. But if you're talking like supercars, some type of oh my god, I can't think of the car. Jesus,
you're not gonna.
I had it in my head. Then you guys were talking
Ferrari or some shit, are you?
Yeah.
Lamborghini Diablo.
That foreign crap.
That was the
Lambo.
supercar of our time, but now it's
I actually when I was a kid, I liked the Lamborghini. When I was a kid, I liked the Lamborghini, the Countach, whatever.
I wanted a Lamborghini LM when I was a kid, and it was that's the Lamborghini version of a SUV.
Mm-hmm.
You can get an SUV that tops out at 185 miles an hour.
No shit. I loved the Lamborghinis when I was a kid, but I actually have been inside Lamborghinis and they are fucking small as fuck.
Yep.
And I didn't want one. I didn't want one after I got in one.
when you have to sit 50% outside of the car to be able to put thing in reverse to see where you're going, it's.
I couldn't get in
not just that to get in it. To get in,
that's what I'm saying. I couldn't.
Even my size. Even my size.
I
Same
tried.
I had to get in it, and then to my size, the wheel is like right here, and I'm like, no, thank you, no, thank you.
I tried to get in a Countach back when I was like 19, and I could not fit in
And
it.
then you have to reach up, what the fuck up here to close
Pull
your
the door down.
fucking door. I was like,
But
no.
the thing is with the way that they've got those cars made and the pitch and everything, you've literally got to sit where the door shuts and everything. You've got to sit and look outside and back up that way. I mean, you don't want to put it in reverse if it's raining, because
I had plenty.
Right.
I had plenty of leg room in a Viper, but not in a Countach.
Right. Oh, the Dodge Viper. My friend had one of those. He had the fast one.
That's my pick,
Yeah,
bro.
he loved that shit.
That's my pick.
He
Dodge
got that thing
Oh,
going.
yeah.
He had that thing going 285 on fucking Alligator Alley, dude. It's like, you fucking son of a bitch.
So what's the
I used
most
to work at a
impressive?
plant where we made those V12s for those.
What's the most impressive car that you guys have rode or drove it? That you didn't have to own it, but that you've rode or drove and had the experience.
Rode or drove. Oh shit! Mine wasn't that impressive. Mine was an Acura Integra.
that you rode in?
Stick shift.
You've not been in
Rode and
something
owned.
that
I
you were-
haven't.
Oh,
I've been,
wow.
there's a couple.
Oh,
that
I've
I'll
been
name
inside
off.
one, but I haven't the Countach with thing, but I wasn't able to drive it. It wasn't mine.
I've ridden in a lot of vehicles because we used to drive vehicles for a guy who owned a car shop, and we would take it from one shop in here in Marion to Indy and then back.
Oh,
we
okay, for
keep
auctions
driving. Yeah, and I've been in quite a few vehicles. So
my most impressive ride was in a 1971 Chevelle Super Sport. Had a 454 bored out, 60 over, and it had 3-stage nitrous system set up on it. And I have never in my life ever gone 0 to whatever the fuck I was going that quick. I remember, I don't know if you guys are familiar, I know Law is, but like here in Indy, we've got 465, which goes all the way around the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Okay. Speed limit's 55 out there, right? I remember this clear as day. This lady's cruising down the interstate, just cruising around, right? My buddy, it was his car. We'd built this thing up, right? So we get in this thing, and he's getting onto the on-ramp, and this lady's at full throttle on 465. As soon as he gets onto the on-ramp, you just hear him hammer it, and he's like, what? And we literally pulled beside and past this lady. And then the time that we were doing that, she was doing this. She went, and she just swerves over her and everything, but it freaked her out. So then we're sitting there riding in the car, and I'm like, dude, this thing's fast. This is stupid. We're going to get in trouble. And he's like, he looked at me. He's like, I ain't even got fast. And he hits the gas on this accelerator. And I mean, it just sets me back. And then he starts hitting the stage on the nitrous and pass. Hard fucking pass. This engine was just.
I know. I would love that.
Oh, man. But this engine was just going, and you could hear the rattling noises and stuff. And I was just like, by this time, I'm white knuckling everything. I'm just like, I like speed, but I don't trust handling this, because he had a dose of crazy in him that just was not something I wanted to base my life on.
I should get one of my friends to take me in one of these. They have these hot rods. They all have these hot rods, and he does work on cars. He works on cars. He works on all the leather of the cars. And I should go with him to one of these hot rod things, and they probably take me out in one of these hot rods. And they don't need nitrous. It's all engine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and like I said, I'm talking. This was a 71, and this was back in 84. So I mean, engines now compared to what they were back in 84 are drastically different. Well, they still were using carburetors.
Yeah, but they still use all these. They take all these old cars and they soup them up, and you know what I'm talking about with hot rods. They take all these old cars and soup them up. So they don't need none of this nitrous. They fucking go.
It goes with what what
you got.
The most impressive car I've ever driven was my dad's 70 Super B, because I mean it's got a 440 Hemi. I mean, fuck, right? But probably the most impressive vehicle I've ever ridden in was an Elva, I believe is what it was called, an Elva McLaren.
Okay.
I'll be damned. That takes a fucking step back. Holy shit.
Yeah. I've written, like I said, I've written in a lot of cars.
I'm not a fan of foreign cars, but my sister-in-law just went and bought herself last year after they hit the lottery. She went and bought herself a Nissan Datsun Z. And I'm like, this thing's crazy looking. It looked like they just forgot to build the last back half of the car and everything. I'm like, this thing, but I'll tell you what, you get into that car and the leg space and just the comfort. I mean, seriously, it's what I imagine like a rocket ship would be. I mean, you're like encased with the seat and everything coming around you. And then my brother sits there and starts throttling this thing out, and he has it at like 160, and this car is not even breaking a sweat. And I was just like, okay, respect to the rice burners.
I mean, even my car's old. I have a 2003.
I gotta say, there's a couple I'm looking at here. I actually did get to ride in a 1971 fucking Pantera.
Oh, that's nice.
This fucking guy, it was some dude I fucking met in Cincinnati. He was rich as fucking hell. He had a boat and all kinds of shit. He had one of those fucking things. It was ugly as sin. It was like puke green. The color was ugly as fucking hell. But he took me out for a ride in this goddamn thing, and I was just like, holy shit. The fucking engine in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, okay, that thing was just like ahead of it. It was I feel like that was the predecessor to the Lamborghini, but I got to ride in one of those. The cars I've driven, 71 Corvette Stingray, LT1 package.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker would shit and get like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was one of the most beautiful body styles I've ever seen on a vehicle.
The Stingrays were nice.
I
love
the 71, 72.
I love the T-top
absolutely
Stingray.
Fucking gorgeous. Yeah. This didn't have the T-tops. It had the fucking, I forget what the hell you call it. It wasn't a T-top. It was where you took the fucking glass out of it. The whole fucking top of the roof was glass.
Target top.
Yeah. Okay. And there was a
Okay.
sleeve on the back. You just put it, you just put the fucking thing on the back, and that kind of helped with, and you could just get that fucking bitch out there and just shit and get.
Got it.
Yeah, that was for cruising. But I mean, when you put the fucking top back on it, you're done, bro. I mean, 160 mile an hour in like fucking 2 seconds. It was just insane, the power that fucking thing had. The other one, 87 Grand National.
Okay.
They had those fucking big, giant, goddamn fucking V6 pistons in that fucking thing. And the only problem with that fucking car was if you fucking tuned her up a little bit too much, you're gonna bust a can. Because these fucking pistons were just fucking massive in that fucking thing. It was just like enormous. But that fucking car, cobalt blue. Oh my god, that thing was insane. Those are probably. Then I had a Monty. I owned a Monty. It had a 227 in it. 15-inch fucking 15-inch rims. Had the fucking the right drivetrain on it and everything. Put a little bit of juice into that fucking thing. That thing would do really well too.
72 Eldorado.
Eldorado.
Oh,
Terminal.
Yeah. Lawrence, you think next week will be about 2 hours? What do you think next?
if that's what you want to do. Like I said, this is on you, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't going to set a time, but Ray just reached out and he's asking me what time does he, do we want him to show up? And I said 8 o'clock, but if he needs to do something different.
Tell them that we'll be. Just tell them that we'll be doing between 8 and 10 o'clock. That we'll be recording between 8 and 10 o'clock. Pop in when he wants, and we're going to do rotating people in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, I never actually did get to fucking drive a GTO. I would love to though.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's like I said. I would be
The fucking car.
I'd be
Everything about that fucking car is just like, ugh.
I drove a '69 GTO. A buddy of mine had.
Oh my god.
He had one.
I think that's the one
jealous.
I'd be looking for. I would look for a
I'm
69
jealous.
GTO.
Yeah, it was a nice car. But the most impressive car I ever rode in was a 440 in a 65 Plymouth Belvedere.
Holy fuck.
It was all motor and no car.
Yeah. Fuck, that's all Plymouth did shit back then. Those
Basically
440s
what
were
it
no
was.
joke, bro.
Yeah, I had a high school buddy of mine. He and I, it was his car. I helped him shove the motor in it and get it up and running and all that kind of shit. After we got it broke in and took it out, we had a guy in the other subdivision I lived in who had about a 4-year reign of having the fastest car in South Bossier, south side of town. It was a 71 Charger, and we just blew the doors off of him. Just bad, blew the doors off of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about those vets. It was the same kind of basic thing. I mean, it was a 427 in those fuckers, but I mean, you're talking like 700 horse, like no fucking chassis at all, basically. Like, you're just fucking, it's all fucking motor, no car. I mean, that's how the vets were too, because they were trying to compete with the GTO, because the GTO was like kind of set the standard for that. Like that was, to me, that's the best muscle car that's ever been made.
Yeah.
Although I don't have the personal experience of actually having driven one, I would just that would be just.
I drove my buddy's 69, and my next door neighbor in high school had a 68 GTO, 68 with a 389 tri-power.
Jesus,
and it was look, that car before it hit a Hurst 4-speed. That car. It was 5 years old, I guess, the first time I ever saw it. It looked like it just came off the showroom floor. And when he sold it several years later, it still looked like it just, and I mean, under the hood, under the bottom of the car, it looked like a show car. And it wasn't, but it looked like a show car. Got to ride in it a lot.
Wow.
My dad used to love, he was a grease monkey. That was his first love. was fucking with engines. And I remember back in, I don't know, it was 84. I was helping him. He had a Festiva, right? One of them shit Fords, the old Festivas.
Yeah, the Festivas.
You laugh. But he fucking yanked that engine out, chopped the block up, and dropped the 302 Boss in it.
Oh my God. No shit.
Yeah.
I seen a fucking Vega. The fucking old Vegas.
Yeah.
I seen a guy who had one of them. He dropped, I forget what the hell he had in that thing. It might have been a 427. Where he chopped the fucking drivetrain off of that. He had fucking slicks on the back of this fucking thing. That thing was just, it was the same. It was a goddamn death trap is what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the Festiva was.
What fucking one, man.
Could you imagine?
I used to have a Vega, and I had two buddies of mine. One had a Vega GT station wagon with a 350 in it. And the other guy had a Vega GT, just a regular hatchback. It had a 454 in it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, holy fuck.
Yeah. But I tell you what was really funny, the 350 in the wagon, the guy he put a pack of cigarettes on the dashboard, and he'd say when he would tell you when to go for that pack of cigarettes on the dashboard. Nobody ever got the pack of cigarettes off that dashboard.
My dad used to do that. My dad used to do that with $100 bill.
Never
My
happened.
dad used to do that with $100 bill.
Now you might sit there with your hand like this and catch that pack of cigarettes when it flew off the dashboard, but you weren't going to be able to reach up and get it. It actually would launch better than a 454 will. So it would launch quicker than a 454.
Car that slipped through my fingers that I wish. My first car, my first car was shit. It was absolute. It was 85.
Oh, mine was too.
85 Cavalier. All right, it was just the shit car. You know.
I thought you were gonna say it was a Yugo or some shit.
No, but it shouldn't have been the Cavalier. Okay, Cavalier's family car, 4-door sedan, blah blah blah. But anyhow. It shouldn't have been that because my dad was selling a car and I didn't think I had enough money to buy it.
Uh-oh.
And come to find out, he sold the motherfucker to his friend for $300. And I was so pissed off because I just turned 17, had the money, had my license, and he sold the 79 Z28 to his fucking friend for $300 with the 350 in it. And I was so mad because it was still in really, really damn good shape. And to be fair, I'd have probably killed myself being 17 years old and having.
That's what he may have done. He may have saved your life. He definitely saved you a lot of money on insurance. So
his friend wrapped the car around a tree. Yeah. His friend wrapped it around a tree. I didn't.
When I was coming up through high school and stuff, my first car, my dad and I, we raced. Well, my dad mostly, but raced out here. We've got a track out here just a little north of the Speedway. It's called Indiana Raceway Park, and they've got road course, drags. That's when your NHRA and stuff is, Well, on the road course, we had this 1979 Oldsmobile Starfire it was a hatchback. Yeah. The whole ass end had been totally ripped out. It had just one single sheet of metal, 1.25 inch steel. And then we had the roll cage and stuff because we were trying to make it meet all the parameters for racing and stuff. And that was my first car driving. And it had cotter keys holding on these little gas pedals and stuff, the smaller pedals for racing, easier shifting and stuff. And I had that car 4.5 weeks, and it was a manual transmission, and I was peeling out one night. Well, in my process of me dicking around with the pedals, I bent one of the keys, and it had got underneath the aluminum that had riveted to the floorboard for weight and stuff. And so when I dumped the clutch, it was just full throttle. And this car literally just goes across 4 lanes of busy traffic, and I'm just going, wow, wow, wow. End up over on the other side of this yard, the road and stuff, in people's yard and stuff. And then the next thing I know is I've got a police officer, state trooper, and they're slamming me up against the car like, what the hell are you doing? And I looked at my dad, and he told me, he said, if you get a ticket, I ain't helping you out. My first ticket was reckless driving, unsafe lane. I mean, these guys laid everything on me. I was just turned 17 like a week earlier. And my dad would just sit there and he's like, I told you. And man,
I told you.
That took me years to overcome that because of all the tickets and the points and the insurance and everything else.
Sounds familiar. I got a warning.
Mm-hmm.
When I was around that age. My old man had an 83 Mustang 5.0 with T-tops on it. It was gray and black. Nice car. Leather interior, all that great stuff. 4-speed. I was driving it down Route 8. And there was a hill. There was a certain stretch right there where you're coming out of Butler, PA. And you come down a hill, you go around a corner, and then it's just this fucking straight shot. And I just fucking gunned it. Didn't fucking see the goddamn Smokey sitting over by the barn. Sure enough, I get down, the end of the fucking run. I see fucking, fuck.
Cherries and blueberries.
I pulled over. He's like, "Fuck you doing?" I don't know. It wasn't
Getting
anybody in
fucked.
front of me. I mean, It's like, look.
Yeah,
Don't
I
be
know
doing
what.
that shit down here. Like, just don't be doing that shit down here. I get it, okay, but look. And I give you a warning. Just knock the fucking shit off. I'm gonna follow you home. If I see you go over fucking 60 mile an hour, I'm writing you up.
You ever said something to a cop that you, after you said it, you were like, "Fuck! I wish I could take that back."
Yeah,
Pretty much most of my interactions with the cops.
Usually, my interactions with cops are yes, sir, no, sir. I'm because they have guns, and I don't want to go to jail. But when I was 25, I was heading home from work one time, and the light in front of me was turned yellow, and I gunned it to get through, right? And a couple blocks later, I get pulled over by the cop, and cop walks up to me and says, "You know what color that light was when you went through?" I said, "Was it yellow?" He said, "Yes, it was yellow." I said, "What color was it when you went through?"
I don't know. You pay this ticket and let me know. Yeah, it's like whenever when I had that incident, I still had my car. I mean, it was a white car, okay, and it had this looked like a big girl. It had a period go right down the middle. It had a big old wide red racing stripe right down the middle of the car. And then it had all these stickers and stuff, SCCA, Sports Car Club of America, all this stuff that you had to have to race with. And then there's two big old racing numbers right on the side of the door. So the cop is sitting there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's sitting there giving me grief, right? So then he just starts walking around looking in the car, and he sees the roll cage, and he sees the sheet, and he looked back at me, and he's like, "You're fucking kidding me, right?" And I'm like, no. So then, now mind you, I'd stalled the car through all the donuts and stuff, and then ended up in that ditch and that hill and stuff. I'd stalled it out and everything, right? So I had to start the car back up. Well, the car had straight pipes, literally out of the manifold, just straight pipes. So it was loud as shit. So I fire this thing up. Well, that cotter key, it still had the accelerator smashed to the ground. So I started this thing up, and it made this real loud pop because all the back gas and stuff in the carburetor. And then it just goes, whoa! And this guy's giving me shit like I'm doing it, And I'm like, no, man. And I'm trying to explain to him. And I mean, by this time, like I said, he ripped out the car, put me up against the car, put me in handcuffs and stuff, And it was a salt and pepper, it was a black cop, white cop. And this white cop was just, I mean, he was, he was ready to take me and my firstborn and freaking. I mean, he was like, "You're done, young man." And this cop, the other cop, sits there and he's looking in there and he talks to his buddy. He's like, "Hey, look at this," and he shows him with his flashlight. He's like, "It is stuck. It's stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I didn't do that shit." And then the cop just sits and he goes, "Well, if you're fucking stupid enough to ride a car looking like this on my streets, you're gonna have to expect some tickets." And I was like,
Yeah.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting out of it,
My uncle ran street stock dirt races, and we had to. Yeah, we weren't allowed. You're not allowed to drive. They're not street legal anymore.
It took me 2 weeks to get my car to where it was legal, and that was the whole thing because I had to get the exhaust. Because driving to school, there's this little 2-lane street, and on each side is houses. The first day I had the car, I was driving it through there, and they pulled me over, noise pollution, and so I had to go and get it certified, sound test. I shit you not, I'm not making this up. I had all the tickets and because I had to keep them. 31 times I was pulled over for noise with this car. It was so freaking loud. And it was just stupid. I told my dad after I said, because like I said, my insurance was stupid now because of that whole ticket fiasco. I'm sitting there and I can't get anywhere at any point in time without God and everybody. And the thing was, the people that were pulling me over were the same motherfuckers that pulled me over the month before that had seen all the. They knew they were just fucking with the young dumbass driving the hot rod. So finally, I went and got me a jet black 1977 Olds Cutlass Supreme Brougham, and this thing was just so chilled. And I was like, and I love that car. I took that car. I drive back and forth from Indy to Indiana State weekly, just driving back and forth. I go and see my buddies after graduation and shit. I love that car. Put over 240,000 miles on that thing in like 5 years. It was ridiculous.
I'm gonna start calling you Hot Rod.
No, I'm a new me now.
Well, are glass packs illegal now?
Depends on
they are here.
They are.
They are in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Well,
Doesn't mean people don't have them, but they are illegal.
We used to put glass packs on. My dad used to put glass packs on a lot.
I had to put cherry bombs just to quiet it down. I had to just to quiet it down. They're meant to make it louder, but I had to do it to quiet it down. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man!
I love
It might
cars.
still be illegal in fucking Montana, but yeah, I mean, holy shit.
Cars and trucks.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. We used to take another fucking stupid story. Like a fucking for whatever reason, I had a buddy that lived around the corner from me when I was a kid. We were still in fucking middle school at the time. And fucking his old man had a fucking farm. And for whatever reason, this dude collected like fucking Volkswagens, the old Beetles and shit.
Yeah.
And so we were in there like, I don't want this fucking piece of shit. He would say, this one, I'm not going to fix this one up. Okay. We would take that fucking thing out. And you know when the farmers first fucking plow the fucking fields, when it's really dry and how the fucking shit's like all, humped over and shit and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He would take this fucking thing down his driveway and fucking do straight across the fucking road and hit those fucking big piles of dirt. And we would just roll the fucking for fun. We would just fucking roll the car over in the fucking field for fun.
Wow.
And it was so light we could just pick it back up and get the fuck out of there. So I mean,
I've never done that. I went cornfielding once. I'll never do that again.
My best friend had an Odyssey, and these things, you got the roll cage and everything, but he had these big balloon tires on it. So every time you try to turn or whatever, you did, So we're sit there. We go on our dirt track. We go on this old, they had a dirt bike track and stuff that they'd have running. So we'd sit there and we hit that, and we'd hit that first turn, and then we'd just roll it on purpose because right at the first turn would go down this long, I'd say 45, 50-foot hill. So you wouldn't stop rolling. So we'd sit there and we'd get it and we'd start rolling and we would have a blast, man. Cause your 5-piece harness with this thing. I mean, you're going nowhere, but yeah, man, we'd sit there and we'd get done. We once we get our bearings and stuff and clean all the dirt and grass and everything off, we'd be like, wow, let's do it again. That thing was, and the awesome part about it, there's no body. I mean, it's literally metal with just a little fiberglass shell around it. So, you'd sit there and, pull it out. Let's go again. No damage, no maintenance.
Screw that.
Oh my God.
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, you still, you get stiff, but it's fun. It's a blast.
At my age, I wouldn't be able to walk for a month.
Yeah. I wasn't doing it at my age either.
I remember last time I played backyard football, I was like, I'm done. I think I was like 35, something like that. And I went out and played backyard football with a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds. And I was giving them the business, but by the time I was done, I had my own business. I couldn't move for a week.
You were done.
You're like, who really won? It was basketball that did it to me.
I think I'm done, man.
About to get done soon.
Pushing 11.
All right,
But
fellas.
This was a great night, man. Great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Thanks, guys.
Really.
It looks like Matt's getting ready to go and do
Oh.
something as well, because he's
Yeah,
talking.
I was just reading.
Yeah.
I'm reading something on thing. I'm talking to Mike on Discord, and I was reading something on. Yeah, I am honestly. I'm
all
also
good.
reading something on the. I'm reading something on the Ukrainian thing.
Okay.
Loyalists, next time we get together, you got to smoke. You got to have a cigar.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay. Look, I got a cigar smoker over here, a cigar smoker over there,
Oh,
cigarette smoker here, cigarette smoker here. I'm a cigarette. You're not smoking, man.
well,
It's just
there's
cigar,
reason for that.
a cigarette, a blunt, whatever, but you got to light up.
All right, so now you can explain to my wife why I'm being arrested doing a podcast.
I
What'd you
didn't
get
say
arrested
you
for?
had to
This
do
is
anything
illegal in Indiana.
Yeah, it is illegal, like straight up illegal.
Yeah, no,
It took you too long
no.
to quit smoking to start that.
J-
back up,
just the
brother.
tobacco here.
Yeah.
Just tobacco here.
Same here.
Yeah, that's just the tobacco here.
All right, guys.
Anyway,
All right,
we
well,
don't
we're
want
gonna-
non-smoker
we're gonna
up
all-
here, man.
I want to go to New
Good.
York so bad. Fucking weed's legal up there. now.
Mike says you got to start scouting out a long snapper.
Oh God.
So-
I'm gonna start scouting a punter or another kicker for the Patriots for Connor. That way they can have a 3 kicker formation.
real quick, what time are we thinking next Saturday?
Colt said you got to start.
Probably
scouting
be
out
right
a
around the
kicker
same time.
for Connor.
Usually,
you can have
usually
a
I like doing these at like
3
8,
kicker formation.
starting at 8.
Okay.
But if you don't want to, if you want to make it a little earlier, we can.
What do you guys think on a Saturday? Does that change it or
Same time for me. I'm good.
Matt,
Doesn't matter to me.
Joe, Matt, Nikoski?
Same here. We're always
What?
We're always in Discord, anyways.
All right.
All
So
right.
the regular Patreon only stream will be next Saturday at 8 p.m. because we're gonna move it due to
Actually, if you guys just want to hang out in
He
Discord,
thought that was funny.
That's fine too, because we do that anyways, and there are a lot of games on Saturdays.
yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
We'll
Well, I
see
hope
what
to
happens.
So
you
what
guys
time?
on
What time next week?
It'll be at 8 o'clock, but it'll be on Saturday when we do it because
Okay, but what
Loyalists-
time? What time is the net? What time is next Thursday? 8 o'clock.
That next Thursday, 8 o'clock is Loyalists thing that he's wanting
Loyalists
to do with
program.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Patreon
Which you're
members-
welcome to,
both at the same time.
but
Yeah, you guys
Patreon
can-
members are welcome to come.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, because I wasn't trying to cut into your guys' benefits and stuff. I just
No.
Forget about it. Whoa, forget about it.
So if anybody's watching this and you went through 3 hours, I'm sorry. But appreciate watching it. You obviously pay the money to do so, and I think this was good ass content. I think we all had a freaking blast talking.
Yeah.
I'm hopping
Well,
over to Discord.
guys,
This was a really good one.
I think I'm outie. Gotta go
All right,
fix
guys.
myself some biscuits and gravy, and I'll talk to you
Yes,
guys
sir.
later.
Peace.
All right, bro.
Have a good
I'm hopping over to Discord.
You